the requirements for a J51 warrant.
I had not known the name that I was supposed to apply the search warrant for. With the experience that I have not come across for application of a search warrant with only an address and not a name.
Dinakato Leshoro, Eyewitness News, Johannesburg High Court.
South Africans have one more opportunity to register or update their voter registration details ahead of the 2026 local government elections. The Electoral Commission says this weekend's voter registration drive is the last chance for in-person registration before the proclamation of local government elections. The IEC is encouraging South Africans to make use of this weekend to ensure they are correctly registered and ready to vote. Home Affairs officers will also be open at the weekend to assist citizens who need identity documents, the Commission's Sai Mamabolo.
While the registration weekend is the final in-person opportunity to register or update voter details, the online service will remain active until Proclamation Day. The Commission urges eligible voters not to wait until the last minute to register or update their details.
And in Cyprus, fresh talks are expected to be called by UN Chief Antonio Guterres to try and end the long-standing Cyprus conflict. Leaders of the divided nation have been called to the talks, but no date has been set for the meeting, with Guterres saying it was contingent on making progress in confidence-building measures first. Cyprus has been split since 1974, when Turkey invaded and occupied its northern third in response to an Athens-engineered coup seeking unification with Greece. Gold is trading at $4,021.08 an ounce. The rand is at 16.77 to the dollar, 22.29 to the pound, 19.09 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $89.69 a barrel.
Well, at this time, if you're traveling through the Joburg CBD, there's already bumper-to-bumper traffic on the M1 southbound between Killarney Bends and the Crown Interchange 4 ways. Also, traffic heavily backed up on Winnie Mandela Drive between the N1 and Broadacres Drive.
In your sport, UEFA threatens World Cup boycott over FIFA investment plans. Tapelo Mokobodi joins Orlando Pirates from Stellenbosch. And Christian Sadie sets an African record as Team South Africa continue to impress in the pool at the Commonwealth Games.
It's a partly cloudy afternoon in Gauteng today. Temperatures have peaked at highs of between 17 and 20 degrees. The top story in EWN, controversial businessman Suleiman Karim will return to the Malanga Commission on August the 14th unless he can prove that he is medically unfit to testify.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
You're with John Perlman on 702.
Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app, DSTV channel 856,
92.7
and 106 FM.
Very good afternoon, everyone. It's 8 minutes past 3 on Wednesday, the 29th of July. This is 702 Drive with me, John Perlman. Welcome to the show. The Parliamentary Committee looking into Phala and the possible impeachment of the President is going to court to appeal an order of another court.
The following order is made. 1. Pending the determination by this court of the applicant's review under case number 2026/119192, the first and second respondents are interdicted from proceeding with the public impeachment hearings in terms of Rule 129 M of the National Assembly Rules. 2. The cost of the application shall stand over for determination by the court which hears the review.
Yeah, that was last week, an order by a bench of 3 judges of the Western Cape High Court after President Cyril Ramaphosa approached them for a stay of the public proceedings of the Section 89 committee. Now, we'll hear about the committee's intended challenge to that order Lindsay Dentling, our parliamentary reporter, has been keeping an eye on that. She's with us in 5 minutes or so time. The Road Traffic Management Corporation has cracked open a syndicate making money and causing mayhem in the licensing system. What were they doing and how did they get in? More on that from the RTMC Simon Zwane after 4. Speaking of money, at the end of June, the city of Johannesburg took 3.94 million rand out of the account of Joburg Water. That was one day before that money would have been ring-fenced for use in maintaining and extending and generally fixing up the water system in the city of Johannesburg. So they did it before it would have been illegal or irregular to do it. But what are the implications of that? We'll talk about it after 5 o'clock. I'm sure many of you have been watching The Masked Singer. In the show, the singers are, of course, at the center of the spectacle.
The Masked Singer South Africa. Can you guess who is behind the mask?
You know, to say who's behind the mask is kind of underselling it a little bit. I mean, how incredible are those costumes? It's not just a mask. It is an entire outfit that has to look great, do its job, but also be fit for purpose, i.e. the person inside there has to be able to move around, and above all, they have to be sing. No mean feat to design them, and design them as well as they have been designed. We'll talk to the person who does all of that. Heidi de Toy is my guest at 10 to 5. And as always, in the last part of the show, we'll bring you some music. If you could choose someone to sing at your funeral, who would you choose? And what song would you ask them to sing? I actually have a playlist for my funeral. I think there are about 6 or 7 songs on that particular list. This is one of them. Teddy Pendergrass, glad to be alive. I suppose it would have to be renamed on the program. Glad to have been alive. But it's a fabulous song if you don't know it. Not just Teddy Pendergrass himself, but the backing singers. It's almost operatic in the chorus. Anyway, that would be my pick. What about yours? Send it to us, please, on 072 702 1702 and 011 883 0702. On the markets, quite a good day for the JSE, up by 950 points today. Strong gains for both industrials and the resource index. Valterra has gained 5.7%. Excellent results recently from the platinum giant. Exxaro is up by 5%. Naspers up by 4.1%. And of course, when Naspers moves substantially alongside process, generally the market moves in a positive way as well. On the downside, Pan African Resources off by 2.2%. Richemont is down by 1.7%, and Outsurance has lost 1.3%. The rand is trading at 16 rand 78 against the dollar. A euro will cost you 19 rand 10, and 22 rand and 29 cents will get you a pound. Gold price is down $11.21 an ounce. Platinum also down. You wouldn't have thought so with that Valterra number, but there it is, down by $28 an ounce. Latest news from the crude coaster. Brent crude is up by $5.80 and currently trading at $89.93 a barrel. Stephen Crudis joining us with all the market news at 25 past 4. We'll get sport with Tolakele Mganga, more developments in FIFA. Those are pretty interesting. Karabo Chali has the traffic news, and Bali Dlamini is joining us at 3:30 with the latest news headlines. This is 702 Drive. We're live in the place where you live. If it's happening in 702 land, we'll bring it to you as soon as we know about something. For sure, although we do sometimes say this seems to be happening. Please do give us your insights. And that's what I'm asking you for, because we cannot be everywhere. We cannot possibly know everything. So if there's something that you've come across, either down the grapevine or outside in your ecosystem, please do get in touch, tip us off, share with us what you know on 072 702 1702, or give us a ring on 011 883 0702. It's 40. Make it 3:15.
702.
Let's walk the talk.
So, money is hugely important, can play a huge part in making life a lot easier. But very closely related to it is the shortage of time. So many people are time poor, and they're directly connected, although I think that time poverty can affect you whether you've got a lot of money or not. It affects people who don't earn much. They have longer travel times. They've got all sorts of things they've got to do to keep their households together. But I think it's also true that some people who earn a lot of money also spend a lot of time doing their work. So the question I have for you is this. Last night, somebody won a 20 million rand lotto jackpot. This confirmed by Sizekai. I'm trying to look at my colleagues here. Karabo Charlie, is he pretending he didn't win it, or is he imagining winning it? And then Rufue is doing like a kind of a double fist pump there, but I think that's, yeah. Anyway, the question I want to ask you guys is this. If you were to find yourself, whether it's through the lotto or some other set of circumstances, good fortune of whatever kind, in a situation where you don't have to work anymore, I don't want to know how you'd spend the money. I want to know what you would do with the time. Because you'd have time. Unless, of course, you would say, no, I'm just going to carry on working. It's Traffic with Karabo Charlie. And he laughs into his sleeve. He won't even have a snappy new jacket, although he does have one today. Check it out, by the way, on YouTube. You can watch our show there. Yeah, what would you do with the time? If you had more time with no pressures, Rifue Letsua, of money and everything that's required to earn it, what would you do with the time?
Ooh la la. Good afternoon, John, and to the rest of the 702 family. What a dream that would be, John. A dream come true. I already know what I want to do. I would spend my time making different kinds of teas. Teas, yes.
Okay.
Creating my own yogurt flavors, experimenting with kombucha. I would just experiment with making things I've always wanted to make. I'd get horses. I'd play with my horses, and I would just really become one of those people that would garden, and then I'll bring you like food and say, John, these are granullas from my farm. This is a gift for you. So I'd make things. John.
And you'd arrive on horseback with all these goods.
Yes.
Yo.
With a beautiful attire, nice hat.
Yeah.
I've got the picture in my head.
Okay.
Barefoot.
A helmet. Maybe if you coming by a horse. Fabulous. Okay.
Yeah.
So just gentle leisure, time to do things. How about
so
you,
good.
Karabo Charlie? Money's not an object.
Yes.
You got time. What are you going to do with it?
I make sure I'm still in bed by 10 o'clock every morning. Unless I feel like dropping off or doing the school run, dropping off my kid at school, then I'll do that. And after that, I'll come back and sleep. But then I'll do more community stuff, particularly farming. I like farming. I'm not farming in a sense, but like gardening.
Yes,
I'll do
like an allotment kind of small scale.
Yes, small scale, that urban kind of farming in Soweto. And then the harvest, we'll give it to the elderly or the needy. And then I'll also... like experiment on things.
Yeah.
More farming. I've done some silk farming in a small scale.
Yes.
So this time I'll do it bigger. I know kids are fascinated about silkworms.
Oh,
so
yes.
I'll invite them to get their own little silkworm what is it?
What,
How
the
can I call it?
boxes?
Their
Yes,
boxes, and
Yes,
they can
yes.
keep it at their houses. Come and help me feed the silkworms. I know kids love that. I used to love that. And then mushroom farming. I'll try all kinds of farming.
Okay. Well, I mean, I can already see it.
Yeah.
Charlie and Letsua. Inc.
I see the billboard.
Done.
Inc. Home produce.
Let's bet the lottery today.
Let's
There
do
we
it.
go. Win it, split the money. I'll take 10%.
But I want to rope you
'Cause it was
in,
my
though,
idea.
John. We're going to need someone to keep us level-headed. I mean, if we're too experimental, for instance.
Hey, I got to work.
Yes, and say,
I didn't win the lottery.
no,
I've
we
got-
could,
Yeah, okay. Well,
We'll hire
we'll
you.
talk.
as a consultant.
Speak to my agent. Actually, I should get an agent first. Okay, so what would you do if you actually had time as a spin-off from winning the lottery or coming into money in the quantity and circumstances that allow you to say, you know what, I'm not going to work anymore. Give us a call on that on 011 883 0702. It's 20 minutes past 3.
The Midday Report.
Weekdays,
12 to 1.
Explain the PFMA to us and where it works.
The PFMA is meant to enhance the responsible and accountable management of public money, and also in principle for punishing the misuse of such public money and also abuse of power. It regulates financial management in national and provincial governments are managed efficiently and effectively so that the public gets their money's worth.
Janine Erasmus, spokesperson for Corruption Watch.
The Midday Report
With Mandy Wiener.
12 to 1 on 702.
702.
Remember the first time your soul felt alive? That feeling is calling you back. Come to where your soul gets reborn through music at the Standard Bank Joy of Jazz, featuring global icons Kamasi Washington, Ibrahim Malouf, and the trumpets of Michelle Ange. Angelique Kidjo will be there, Nubia Garcia, Floetry, Temba, and Africa Mkize, Judith Sapuma, Mkoi Mkhubata, Manana, Tandiswa Mazwai, and she'll be singing Hugh Masekela, plus over 40 world-class acts. 4 iconic stages, one unforgettable experience at the Sandton Convention Centre. This is Jazz Reignited. Get your weekend pass for the 25th to 26th of September now via Ticketmaster.
At Avis Car Sales, we sell cars. All cars. Compact cars, mommy cars, double cabs, 4x2s, 4x4s, minivans, drop tops, luxury sedans. When we say we sell cars, we sell cars. In Croydon, Kempton Park, Rivonia, and in our brand new showroom at 100 Puddingstone Road, Centurion, we sell cars. For over 40 years, inspected and serviced before they reach our floor and backed by the manufacturer's warranty. Finance, yes. Trade-ins, yeah boy, yes. Check us out at aviscarsales.co.za.
That's Liesel, before she got naked. Liesel checked her insurance premium and got angrier than the time a teenager called her Tani. So Liesel got naked and got comprehensive car insurance and a way lower premium in seconds, all on the Naked app. There we go, Liesel. Get a car and home insurance quote now at naked.insure and see how much you can save when you get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
Big advances in health are happening right here in South Africa. Local researchers are studying a new TB vaccine called M72 that could help stop people from getting seriously ill. And programs like Cochimpilo are helping men living with HIV overcome stigma, start treatment, and stay on it through peer support and private chat guidance. It's South Africans helping shape the future of global health, supported by the Gates Foundation for 25 years. Partners of human potential.
EWN Traffic.
Right, let's find out what's happening out on the roads with Karabo Silk. Charlie.
I like that.
Who's the guy from Chicago? Steve Silk Hurley. Yeah, here we go.
All right, John, let's be serious now. In 4 ways, bumper-to-bumper traffic on Winnie Mandela Drive. This is between the N1 and Broad Acres. There's also slow-moving traffic. Actually, it's unusual at this hour through the Joburg CBD. This is on the M1 southbound. Heavy delays between Killarney Bends and the Crown Interchange. Also, if you're driving through Kempton Park, that's the Bursley area. Traffic is already building up. This is on Modderfontein Road between Pretoria Road and Mooifontein Road. Looking through the Bedford View area, heading towards Germiston. Slow-moving traffic. R24 westbound. This is between the N12 split and Giluli's interchange. Look out for those faulty traffic lights in Sharon Lee at Malibongwe Drive and President Fushia. If you come across any other traffic issues, kindly WhatsApp us on 072-702-1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Drive home with John Perlman
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
Right, let's get the very latest then from down in Parliament, where the committee that's looking into the Pala matter, the Section 89 Impeachment Committee, after, from what I understand, substantial debate, has decided that they are going to go and challenge the High Court's interim interdict from last week that stayed certain aspects of the committee's work. This following that court being approached by the president of the country, Cyril Ramaphosa. So where do we stand now? Lindsay Dentlinger, EWN parliamentary reporter, is with us to give us some clarity. Lindsay, a very good afternoon to you. The committee is going back to court. Which court will they be going to, and what are they asking for? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, John. I don't think we are at that point yet. The
Okay.
decision only being taken that there is to be an appeal. We know that two of the political parties have already approached the Constitutional Court for condemnation. I'm not suitably legally versed in all of this. Our understanding was from experts on Friday that interim orders are generally not appealable, but I believe that's not hard and fast in law and that there are exceptions made. But some of the political parties, for example, the Freedom Front Plus, arguing today that because it's only an interim order, the committee would struggle in his view, Voter Wessels' view, to prove that harm is being done because it will eventually get lifted following the rest of court proceedings. So the chairperson of the committee, Makashule Gana, saying following Friday's ruling, he had already taken legal advice that it probably would not be the prudent path to follow given the tight time frames and for other legal reasons. But these political parties really persisting in a more than 2-hour-long debate this afternoon that they should go ahead. So I think it will be back to Parliament's legal team and to now consider a path, because my understanding is they only have about 50 days to register some kind of appeal, whether that is to request for request for permission to appeal, which is generally how appeals are done, or whether they do what the other political parties have done and go straight to the Constitutional Court asking for condemnation and for clarity on the ruling that court had made in May.
It's a very interesting debate, I would think, Lindsay, because it seems like, some people, and you'll clarify this, but I'm seeing a quote for example, from Glynis Breitenbach saying, having initially been of the view that we should not appeal, I'm persuaded by the arguments of colleagues that perhaps we should. Do you think that the committee is, however this appeal turns out, actually in many ways kind of taking shape through debates like these, that people are, perhaps coming up with ideas that you didn't necessarily expect them to?
So, interestingly, in this committee, John, we have several legal minds. We know Glynis Breitenbach is a former prosecutor. Several of the committee members, while they may not have all practiced law sometime in the past, they come from legal backgrounds. And of course, what better legal mind to have on this committee than a former Western Cape judge president himself, John Hlophe. And he too was of the view, he believed because there were 3 judgments on Friday, one a dissenting view, he believes that will actually give weight to an appeal. That's the opinion he put forward. He said, given all the legal reasons why interim orders are generally not appealable, he said there had been extensive discussion and debate within his own party about whether to pursue this route. And as you say, Glynis Breitenbach also doing an about turn after saying in court on Friday, she was unsurprised by how this was going to turn out, and today saying that she believed that the judgment was slightly ambiguous and vague.
Yes.
A lot of the political parties saying that they don't feel that Friday's judgment was clear enough in terms of where it was drawing the line of what Parliament's committee may and may not proceed with until that next court matter of the president is heard in September. So while many of them obviously want to, you get the impression, obviously this is politics,
yes,
and they want to appeal on political grounds, we cannot discount the fact that there, as I said, are legal minds, the Freedom Front Plus, Voter Wessels, also the ACDP Steve Swart, also saying that he was buoyed by the decision taken by other political parties earlier this week to approach the Constitutional Court, but some of the political parties saying it wasn't good enough for political parties on their own to approach the court. They would obviously bring political arguments to bear when they did so, but because the committee had originally opposed this interim interdict application, it should also come from the committee to oppose this, to appeal this ruling.
Thank you so much, Lindsay Dentlinger. Really interesting. I'm intrigued by the process, and obviously the decisions are extremely important as well. But also the debate, and often things are quite sort of calcified on party lines on many issues, and yet in these various forums, and you saw it on the ad hoc commission that was formed in the light of the allegations made last July by Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. People kind of finding points of agreement in circumstances where so often they have firmly disagreed. The other important piece of news, by the way, is that the Madlanga Commission, through Justice Buyisile Madlanga's decision, but presumably in consultation with the other commissioners, has ruled that the Northwest Province businessman Suleiman Karim must appear in person at his hearing, which is set down for the 14th of August. Obviously, I think there would be some kind of proviso saying unless he can demonstrate medical reasons why he shouldn't. But a lot of what's been led in the conversation and debate and argument around his medical fitness to appear has called into question some aspects of his medical situation. So that is a big story. There are plenty of others besides. Let's get the news headlines. And for that, we go to Mbali Dlamini, starting down in the center of Joburg. Good afternoon.
Thanks, John. Good afternoon. 9 undocumented migrants have been arrested following a major counterfeit goods crackdown at the Joburg Mall in the Johannesburg CBD today. The suspects were vetted by Home Affairs during the day-long operation led by the SAPS's National Counterfeit and Illicit Goods Unit. A provisional estimate by police has valued the seized counterfeit goods at around 1 million rand. Mongezi Koko reports.
The intelligence-driven operation brought parts of Joburg Mall to a standstill as police cordoned off surrounding streets, forced entry into locked shops and removed suspected counterfeit goods. Many shops had closed their doors before police arrived. However, authorities say there's no evidence the operation was compromised, believing the heavy law enforcement presence prompted traders to shut their businesses. Among those arrested was a man who told Eyewitness News he had been inside a shop buying stock when the doors were closed. He also admitted that he was in South Africa illegally without documentation.
No, I never had it inside, but I was buying the store there. So when they are crossing inside the shop. I was already inside, so I was trading the things.
Police say all 9 people arrested were undocumented foreign nationals who were processed with the assistance of Home Affairs. The value of the seized goods is expected to increase as the inventory continues. Mongezi Koko, Eyewitness News, Joburg CBD.
Let's stay with policing matters. Western Cape Premier Alan Winde says strong leadership is needed now more than ever as the province prepares to welcome its new police commissioner. Winde has welcomed the appointment of Sizakele Gyanji, who officially takes office on August the 1st. With more than 34 years of experience, Gyanji takes over from Thembisile Patekile, who retired at the end of June. His appointment comes at a critical time as the Western Cape continues to grapple with violent crime, gang violence, extortion, as well as organized crime. Winde says while the SAPS is facing significant challenges, this is the moment for decisive leadership.
I think there has not been a time like this before, where parliamentary processes and commissions of inquiry are raising many questions. So it is a difficult time to step up and lead, but it is a critical time to step up and lead. Now is the time that the residents of this province are really looking to leadership and looking for leadership.
And in the UK, just over half of England has now been declared in drought. This as the country experiences record low rain and exceptionally high temperatures. The Met Office says it had finalised readings in June and found that both England and the UK saw a daily temperature record of around 38 degrees Celsius. Describing it as a flash drought, government says this is the second consecutive summer that parts of England are experiencing a drought. Well, it's a partly cloudy afternoon back home here in Gauteng. Temperatures have peaked at highs of between 17 and 20 degrees.
In the Joburg CBD, heading towards Boyson's, traffic heavily backed up on the M1 southbound from Killarney Bends to the Crown Interchange. In 4 ways, traffic lights still not working at Witkoppen and Monte Cassino Boulevard.
The top story in EWN, 9 undocumented migrants have been arrested following a major counterfeit goods crackdown at Joburg Mall in the Johannesburg CBD.
John is on X.
At John Perlman.
.702 Drive still to come on the show. We are going to be chatting a little bit later to Dr. Ferriel Adam, who's Executive Manager at the organisation WaterCan. This after the city of Johannesburg it is all Joburg City's money, you could argue, Joburg Metro's money. Right at the end of June, 3.4 billion rand was removed from the accounts, transferred out of the accounts of Johannesburg Water into the Metro accounts, where it will be put to all kinds of general purposes. That's an issue that was very much time specific, because from the 1st of July, according to new practices and regulations, that money needs to be ring fenced so Joburg Water can fix all those things that are leaking and build new reservoirs and so on, and above all, pay off debtors. Important story. We'll do it after 5 o'clock.
Drive home with John Perlman
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
Smart business moves save money. So switch to OUTsurance Business Insurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. And did you know OUTsurance was voted News 24 Short-Term Insurer of the Year for 4 years in a row? Make the smart business moves. Make the smart business move and switch to OUTsurance Business Insurance today for dentistries, general medical practices, physiotherapies, and all other businesses. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 08600 60,000 today. Licensed insurance FSP. TCs and information online.
Mama Million here, and yes, I am a millionaire. I see it's payday. Hey, but they didn't pay you nicely, you. How sharp. You know who will pay you nicely? The National Lottery. If you turn payday into playday. Play today, play the lotto, play Powerball, and get paid nicely. The National Lottery. More plays, more chances, more millions. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The National Lottery is officially operated by Sisekaya.
New shape, new joy. Unfold more of what you love with the all-new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8. A bigger screen when you need it, a compact design when you don't, and Galaxy AI that helps you capture, create, and explore with ease. That's on Joy Maxing. Pre-order the all-new Galaxy Z Fold 8 and get up to 1,500 Rand worth of accessories. Offer available at participating stores until 12 August. T's and C's apply.
You're up before everyone else. You're building something real. Absa Business Banking, powered by Visa, gives you everything you need to get going. Open a business account in 10 minutes. Buy a point-of-sale device for $799 and get a credit card all in one place. We get it. Running a business is hard. Your banking shouldn't be. Search Business Starter Pack. Your story matters. Absa is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
When Joburg came together in the iconic CBD for the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, unforgettable moments were made, and none of it would have been possible without our incredible partners.
My name is Tebo Khobe, the CEO of the Gauteng Management Agency. So for us, there's a bigger plan. #Visit Gauteng Zwagala is part of our war cry as Gauteng. It's about us being able to say, Gauteng is open for business. Gauteng is open for events. Walk the Talk was incredible. I think to be able to see that many people work together and work for a purpose has just been one of the most incredible things to see. To see that many people come off one mode of transport to the next, to be able to see that, I'll come back any year.
Thank you to all our partners who showed that great things happen when Joburg comes together for the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, hosted by the City of Johannesburg.
702. WhatsApp John
on 072
702
1702.
Hi, John and the team. If I were to win those millions, I would spend it on rescuing dogs, do outreach on sterilization, because we have so many stray animals, and it's preventable if we sterilize, but people cannot afford or there's not enough education about sterilization of animals, and there's lots of animals in need and those ones that are homeless. So I definitely spend a lot of time with education about sterilization, and then yes, rescuing animals in need. And also I spend a lot of time in the garden. I enjoy gardening. Yeah, this is Yolisa in the Midvale.
Hey John, you know, if I didn't have anything to do that needs me to get money, I would be a teacher at an orphanage. I think those children need someone that would do it from the heart.
Yeah, fantastic responses, and thank you for both of those. I mean, the question we're asking you is not so much if you had all this money, what would you do with the money, but what would you do with the time that having no money worries would create for you? And clearly, you know, the solution to all those animals in such deep trouble wouldn't require just money, but it would require a commitment of your time as well to make sure that money is used properly. So please do keep those coming on 011 883 0702 and 072 702 1702. It's 20 to 4 sports time.
EWN Sport.
Well, what would FIFA do if it had more money than it already had, Tolakele, causing a bit of division and disturbance out there, some of the new ideas?
Absolutely, John, and condemnation continues for FIFA and its president Gianni Infantino. That's amid their controversial private investor plans, with UEFA set to hold an emergency meeting today to discuss its response to the idea. The European body are also considering a boycott of future FIFA World Cups. That's after Infantino wrote to all 211 member associations to say they'll receive $40 million if they back his plan to sell off stakes in its major competitions. A deadline of the 19th of September has been given to associations to accept his plan after saying the initiative would unlock new commercial opportunities and generate additional funding for football development worldwide. On the pitch, Orlando Pirates have bolstered their ranks ahead of the opening round of the Betway Premiership. That's with the signing of Thapelo Mokobodi from Stellenbosch on a 3-year deal. It's unclear if he'll play any part in the clash against Milford on Saturday, while his new teammate Oswin Apollos has shared his thoughts on what he expects against the promoted side.
I watched them a few times when they were playing in FD, you know. A very good team, you know. We'll never underestimate any team, you know, because it will always be difficult, you know. Teams make it always difficult, you know, when they play against us. So, but we're ready, you know. Our pre-season went well. Today it went well, you know. We have a whole week still to prepare, and we're ready.
Team South Africa is up to 16 medals at the Commonwealth Games, and swimming could add even more this evening following the morning heats. In the para event, Christian Sadie won his 50-meter freestyle heats in a Games record 28.45 seconds, while the men's 4x100 medley team finished second behind Australia to qualify third fastest for the final. In the women's 200-meter breaststroke, Amy Canny, Kaylin Kobe and Rebecca Meda have all qualified for the semis, while the women's 4x100-meter medley team will compete in the final. Laura van Niekerk is part of that side and is looking to add a medal to the gold that she won in the 50-meter breaststroke.
I think I really have the best support system behind me. My coach has always been there for me. I've been with him for 15 years now. My sister, fiance, brother, mom, dad, I mean, I can list all of them. It's going to take forever. I'm so grateful knowing that I've got this small village behind me that's always there for me, no matter the easy or hard choices that I need to make.
And Luke Donald has been named as Patrick Harrington's third vice-captain for the 2027 Ryder Cup, which will be played in Ireland from the 13th until the 19th of September. Harrington joins the Molinari brothers in Donald's backroom staff for next year's contest as Team Europe seeks a third consecutive Ryder Cup victory. The three-time major champion was a player in the only previous Ryder Cup to be played in his home country in 2006. Tolakele Mganga, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
Right, let's get the very, very latest from out on the roads. I believe the Joburg CBD is a little bit snarled up at the moment.
Yep.
Karabo Chali, you've got details of that and you got some more besides.
Yeah, that's leaving the Joburg CBD heading towards the Poisons area. I thought it was peak hour traffic, but there's an accident scene there on the M1 South near the Crown Interchange, already causing more than a 20-minute delay all the way from Killarney Bends, so try to avoid that route or allow for extra traveling time if you can. Otherwise, the rest of 702 Land, not looking too bad, I must say. No other accidents besides that one in the Joburg CBD have been reported heading into Soweto. Also not looking too bad, but I see traffic is a bit sluggish. This is if you are traveling along Chris Hani Road. This is opposite Bara Hospital. This is between Bara Hospital and UJ campus. There's also faulty traffic lights in Sharon Lee at Malibongo Drive and President Fushia. Traffic lights still not working in 4 ways at Cedar and Uranium. If you come across any other traffic issues, kindly WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
John Perlman
on 702.
3 to 6 p.m.
702 Drive, it's 3:45. Tolakele, you've come into a whole lot of money. Hypothetically, sorry, I'm not here to bring you good news.
John, it's already been a long day. Now you have to burst my bubble.
Hardly a day passes when I don't let you down with something hypothetical that turns out to be just that. But yeah, we had lotto winners last night. We'll have more lotto winners later. So that's, I suppose, the archetypal example of somebody having a windfall that means, you know what, you don't have to work again. So if you had time without time being required to actually keep body and soul together, what would you do with the time?
Similar to the voice notes before my bulletin, I would teach especially kids that go to township schools computer and technology literacy, because especially now that I'm doing my second degree and I've got the privilege of working, I see the kids that are fresh out of high school and don't have access to a lot of things struggle with like the most basic things when it comes to using a laptop, knowing where to go, which appropriate sites to search for information. So I would really take the time to teach kids to know how to use technology safely and appropriately, because it also sets them up once they get into the working world and opens their eyes to what they can do with all this equipment that's available to them.
You guys are, all of you, saying you're going to do these really good things. The listeners are going to work with kids and so on. I would spend a lot of time driving around looking for wild animals.
That's not a
I'm
bad
not
thing,
surprised.
John.
I really would. I would, like, 4 days in the game reserve would become 14 or whatever.
But it also shows
And I'll take some kids with me. Yeah.
all of our passions are because we only get to do like a little bit of them when you're on leave. So therefore you something that's important, and that's okay, John. The animals also need love.
Yeah, but they don't seem to recognize that I'm a purveyor of this love, because most of the time I can't find them to tell them how much I love them. So your money problems are solved. You don't have to work. You do not have to make commitments of time. So you have all of this time. What exactly would you do with that time? Give us a call on that on 011 883 0702 and 072 702 1702.
Drive home with John Perlman
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
So Tolakele raised a really interesting issue in her bulletin a moment ago, and I'm sure she's going to be coming back to the story as details unfold. The European football body, UEFA, is extremely unhappy. They're threatening to boycott the World Cup in future. Somebody said, by the way, it's not a good idea to keep threatening things and not doing anything to back up those threats. They do tend to run out of gas. But let's park that thought. All of this because the president of FIFA, Gianni Infantino, has spoken about, and in fact not spoken about, they are in the process of creating something called FIFA Forward Enterprise. This body would sell all of FIFA's commercial rights, broadcast sponsorship, ticketing, and licensing, would also take charge of what's termed, and I don't know what this means, I'm not sure if it's entirely clear yet, quote, operational delivery, end quote, of FIFA tournaments. Now, private investors can come in and buy themselves a piece of FIFA Forward Enterprises. They would say they would never have a controlling stake. FIFA would retain that. Interesting little footnote. One of the proposed lead investors is someone called Joshua Kushner, who is the brother of Jared Kushner, who is the son-in-law of Donald Trump. So, people will make of it what they will. There was a closeness between the White House and the president's box at the World Cup that some people thought was not an entirely productive or some would say even ethical thing. But my concern would be that I think the one thing that keeps football on track and on the straight and narrow to the extent that it is the fact that decisions about, for example, the size of tournaments, decisions about how many tournaments you have in a year are taken by people who actually, in one way or another, are inevitably and invariably and ultimately accountable to the football people in their country. Yes, you get presidents of FAs who don't necessarily act in that accountable way, but there's a bedrock of football beneath the people who sit at the executive levels of FIFA. Suddenly you've got people who are in there purely as investors. Well, why don't we have the World Cup every 2 years? Why don't we make games 80 minutes so we can have the last 10 minutes for music or whatever it is? I mean, we've already seen some stuff happening. So if I had to vote, my vote would be a no. But what do you think? I mean, the argument that Mr. Infantino is putting across is that we'll generate a whole lot of money. That money will go to the football associations and they in turn will put it into football development, and presumably there'd be development projects to advance the game that FIFA would run itself. So that, they're saying, is the upside. Doesn't FIFA have enough money for all of that already? The last World Cup made $15 billion. Your thoughts, please, on that. It's 9 minutes to 4.
John Perlman
On 702.
3 to 6 p.m.
Now, let's talk about this. Food insecurity, access to healthcare, education. These are all challenges we know that can shape a child's future. But there's another conversation that's just as important: the emotional well-being of South Africa's boys. For years, the Dis-Chem Foundation's Million Comforts initiative has helped thousands of girls stay in school by addressing period poverty. Earlier this year, we heard how the program had grown beyond sanitary support to take a more holistic approach to empowering young people. Today, that conversation is being broadened and now includes a focus on the boy child. Many boys still grow up believing they have to hide their emotions, deal with life challenges alone, and that asking for help is somehow a sign of weakness. So let's talk to the Dis-Chem Foundation and talk about the Million Comforts campaign and the specific part of their mission, which is to help communities raise boys who are emotionally healthy, resilient, and equipped to become positive role models and eventually fathers and leaders. Let's welcome for that Jacqueline Karlberg, who joins us from the Dis-Chem Foundation. Jacqueline, welcome again, and good to have you with us on the show. Why are you focusing on boys?
So I think I'd like to also make it clear that while significant progress has rightly been made in advancing the rights of girls and women, there is growing recognition that the boys also face unique challenges. So we're not discounting the girls in any shape, form, or manner, because that remains pertinent, but we need to get the young men there as well. And while we're addressing it, is for so many years it's been on empowering women, which is correct. I'm not against that at all. But I've always seen, the boys kind of stand aside, and we go and we chat with the girls and we speak to them about mental and physical hygiene and well-being, and we give them sanitary pads, and the boys are excluded.
Yeah.
And that's got to build some form of resentment, irrespective of how kind or gentle the young man is.
Right.
And we're finding it to be exceptionally productive. We recently had a career day at the Hampton by the Hilton across the road, where we had some non-fee paying schools come and experience a wonderful opportunity that is not afforded to them. The boys were very much included. And, going around teenagers being teenagers, there was this one young man, and he was that kid. It's like, oh, I don't want to do this. I want to be a cage fighter.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, if that's what you want to do, then that's okay. And afterwards, we went to Q&A after they'd been around and explored opportunities and seen hope where they don't see hope. And this same young man, a question was thrown out, is what would you like to see happen in in the communities for boys. If you could ask for something in your home life, in your school life, what is it that you would ask for? And this young man, amongst peers in his own school and kids from another school, looked up at us and he said, we need help with our mental health.
Sure.
And it was quite
Powerful.
Staggering. I think we even got video footage of it. It was, we were astounded because this was the boy, this was the main man. And for him to have been so open and honest, it just speaks to what we're doing is correct. They need to know that they can break the mold.
So what does the program involve? I mean, with the Million Comforts campaign, original focus, period poverty, a very clear and measurable focus. This is slightly different, I would think, in terms of outputs and outcomes, but give us a sense of the program.
Well, I believe that when boys are taught empathy, resilience, respect, emotional intelligence, and healthy coping skills, they're more likely to complete their education. They'll build healthier relationships. They'll avoid crime and substance abuse. And like you said, they'll become responsible fathers, caregivers, and contribute positively to their communities. We want to get them into careers, irrespective of how well they have or haven't done at school. Give them opportunity to be contributing members to their communities and ultimately to society, economically and in every other way. And this empowers these young men. And it's not just in non-fee paying schools and disadvantaged communities. I think men have been taught don't cry, don't show your emotions at large. And while the world is continually changing, we need to change with it, but not everybody has caught up. And yet we also have to be mindful of basic traditions and religions. So it's a fine line that we are walking, but that's the way we want them to go, to know that irrespective, they can be unbelievable human beings and contribute, and they don't have to continue in what they've necessarily seen or grown up with, and they can see hope. It's always about the hope. There's no hope. They don't understand that they can achieve because they can't see it. And we're giving them the opportunity to see it. And if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, it does. Do you have a curriculum, or are you trying a number of different things and fitting them either to perhaps a community need or an individual one?
So how we're doing it is we literally did our first one last Thursday. It was enormously successful. We had wonderful contributors coming to the party. So we had Suzuki came from the Hatfield branch, and they brought with them a mechanic, a salesperson, so they could explain to the kids, this is what, I'm not and don't look at me as an electrical engineer. I'm a car doctor, and the kids loved that. The hospitality. So we're showing them the opportunities that are available to them. And at large, this enormous group of teenagers, grade 11, were overwhelmed because they've not been exposed to this.
Absolutely.
And they all left there so... It was quite spectacular to see because, as you know, I spend a lot of time in the communities, at the schools, and to see these kids so deep in thought and asking and answering questions, and they'd listened and they'd heard and they'd absorbed, and they know they can get a job in hospitality. They can go and work as a salesman in a car dealership. They can learn financial literacy. We had another company there, Curls in Bloom, who are happy to take these kids in and teach them and give them a job if they're not able to get a good enough matric. We do push for a matric, but if that doesn't happen for whatever reason, there needs to be something that these children know that they're not going to fall off the face of the earth and nobody cares.
Jacqueline Kohlberg, thank you, from the Dis-Chem Foundation. I was asking her, what are they doing? Well, just remember that you can do something as well, because every swipe of your Dis-Chem Better Rewards card helps support the incredible work of the Dis-Chem Foundation. If you're not a member, visit dischem.co.za to find out how you can join the Dis-Chem Better Rewards program. Every swipe counts.
Mavis, I wonder if I should sell my car. I'm not sure where to go.
Wanna sell your car, don't know what to do. You don't have to go far, we come to you. If you're rolling on a 1.5 or a Lacquer 2.2, doesn't matter what you drive, we buy cars once you.
We Buy Cars, the easiest way to sell your car by far.
Find your next design obsession at Decorex Joburg. From the 30th of July to the 2nd of August, the Sandton Convention Centre becomes the destination for the latest in decor and design. Explore over 450 exhibitors across 5 levels, inspiring talks and live demos, plus the property show by Private Property. Download the Decorex app and plan your visit today. Decorex Joburg, 30th July to 2nd August. Tickets at decorex.co.za and at the door.
Mama Million here, and yes, I am a millionaire. The total number of lotto winners to date is 1,886,946. And the total prize money won is over 149 million rand. So what must you do with this information? Inspire yourself and play the lotto. It's still just 5 rand. Catch the live draws on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 9 p.m. The National Lottery. More plays, more chances, more millions. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The National Lottery is officially operated by Sizakai.
Dad, how come Mom's not coming to my soccer game?
Well, Mom isn't allowed to come to your soccer games anymore.
Is it because she tried to tackle Coach KB for giving me a red card?
Maybe.
Humans who fiercely protect the people they love. Welcome. Search Liberty Protect to protect your life and legacy today. Liberty, in it with you, all of you. Liberty Group Limited, a licensed life insurer, an authorized FSP and part of the Standard Bank Group. T's and C's, risks and limitations apply.
This is EWN.
Suleiman Karim to appear before the Madlanga Commission on August 14th, and yet another vehicle recall. This time it's Toyota Land Cruisers. Good afternoon, I'm Bali Dlamini. Controversial businessman Suleiman Karim will return to the Madlanga Commission on 14 August unless he can prove that he is medically unfit to testify. Karim's legal team sought an open-ended postponement, but evidence leaders argued that any postponement should be tied to a fixed date. This is the 5th time Karim's appearance before the Commission has been postponed due to his ill health. Delivering judgment today, Commission Chairperson Justice Mbuyiseli Madlanga ruled that any further postponement will be considered only on one condition.
Mr. Karim will be excused from appearing on 14 August 2026 only if he has voluntarily subjected himself to an independent evaluation by a medical specialist agreed by no later than Monday, 3 August 2026, between his representatives and the Commission's evidence leaders.
He adds that not just any doctor will be allowed to perform the independent medical assessment on Karim.
The independent evaluation and report envisaged in paragraph 2.2 shall be performed by an independent medical professional nominated by the chairperson of the Association of Medical Professionals in the field of medicine in which Mr. Karim's current doctor practices.
Parliament's impeachment committee has resolved to appeal Friday's High Court ruling that has temporarily halted impeachment proceedings against the president, while Chairperson Makashule Gana said he was not of the view that the committee should follow this route after consulting with legal counsel. The majority of parties were adamant this route should be pursued. The ATM and EFF have already approached the Constitutional Court to appeal. The matter relates to whether or not President Cyril Ramaphosa should face impeachment proceedings over his handling of the theft of US dollars from his Palapala farm in 2020. Ghana said this is a weighty matter.
The view of the committee is that the Western Cape High Court judgment should be appealed. So even as we add, that's the decision of the committee, and all members have participated in the vote. Those that say we must appeal is 14, as announced. And even if we add the other members, it will not change the outcome.
Lawyers for the Tshwane City Council and its Speaker have disputed urgency in the matter brought before the Pretoria High Court today. The DA has taken the Speaker, Ncedi Mzwanana, to court over 2 controversial votes taken by Council earlier this month. The votes resulted in the City Manager, Johan Metler, being placed on precautionary suspension and CFO Gareth Mnisi being reinstated after being grilled by the Madlanga Commission on alleged tender rigging. Lawyers for council have argued that the DA has not exhausted all the avenues available, including taking the Speaker to the Ethics Committee if they feel aggrieved. Advocate Pomodzo Managa.
The question that your leadership needs to ask yourself is that why was this option not exercised by the Democratic Alliance? So that the Ethics Committee can look at the rules of the Speaker and say, you Speaker, you don't have powers to do what you did. Here's the ruling, go and correct yourself. It does not need to have suspensive powers.
The National Consumer Commission has announced yet another vehicle recall, this time affecting some Toyota urban cruiser vehicles. This follows an issue identified with the fuel indicator, which may result in drivers thinking they have more fuel than the car actually has. The recall affects over 2,200 cars, majority of which were sold in the South African market, and the others were exported to neighbouring countries. The Consumer Commission says the low fuel warning light of the affected cars may not turn on as the fuel decreases. Spokesperson Peton Daba.
We urge consumers who own a Toyota urban cruiser, which was sold between 17 January 2025 to 3rd of March 2025, to take their vehicles to any authorized Toyota dealership for a quick inspection. Toyota has informed the NCC that a total of 2,015 vehicles are part of a recall in the country.
And Spain has officially ended evacuation orders for all 12 towns evacuated due to a wildfire in the province of Avila. This means that residents can begin returning to their homes. The country's government declared a national emergency last week over wildfires that forced more than 60,000 people to flee their homes. Lifting the evacuation order comes as authorities encourage developments in the battle against fires that remain uncontrolled in parts of central and eastern Spain. Gold is trading at $4,021.08 an ounce. The rand is at 16.77 to the dollar, 22.29 to the pound, 19.09 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $89.69 a barrel.
Driving through the Joburg CBD heading towards Boysens, traffic remains heavily backed up on the M1 southbound between Killarney Benz and the Crown Interchange due to an earlier accident. In Edenvale, there's also slow-moving traffic heading into Bedfordview. That's on the R24 westbound between Edenvale Road and the Kilulis Interchange.
In your sport, UEFA threatens World Cup boycott over FIFA investment plans. Tapelo Mokobodi joins Orlando Pirates from Stellenbosch. And Christian Sadie sets an African record as Team South Africa continue to impress in the pool at the Commonwealth Games.
A partly cloudy Thursday in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Johannesburg dropping to overnight lows of 6 degrees, peaking at 20. Pretoria 8 and 23, and Vereeniging 4 and 21 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour: controversial businessman Suleiman Karim will return to the Madlanga Commission on August 14th unless he can prove that he is medically unfit to testify.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
7:02.
Drive home with John Perlman
John Perlman, 3 to 6 p.m.
on 92.7 and 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
7:02 Drive, it's 7 minutes past 4. Parliament's committee, the impeachment committee, looking at the Phala matter and the possible impeachment of President Cyril Ramaphosa, is going to go to court and challenge the decision of the Western Cape High Court last week. What are your thoughts about that? I mean, things are in court all the time around the business of governance. Do entities go to court too often? Or could you argue, well, hey, listen, President went there first, we're going to have to respond. How do you view it, though? Would you like to see the courts less involved in the business of the country's governance? Give us a ring on that on 011 883 0702. I think it's a good debate. And it does mean, on the one hand, that rights are often asserted and in that way guaranteed and secured. On the other hand, it does mean that the process of government invariably moves forward a whole lot slower. It is a trade-off. We're going to, in this half hour of the show, be talking to Simon Zwane from the Road Traffic Management Corporation. A very interesting story in The Citizen. Their reporter Faisal Patel reporting on how the RTMC, Road Traffic Management Corporation, has cracked open a syndicate that has found its way into the licensing system of the country, eNatus. We'll find out exactly what it is that they were doing while they were there, what the consequences were, and crucially, what were the holes that let people into the system, and have they been plugged? There's a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about that later. We're going to, after 5, look at another aspect of government. Now you have it, now you don't, it would seem, for Joburg Water. At the end of June, they had 3.4 billion rand just one day before. Regulations and new practices would require that money be ring-fenced so it could be used for the city's water infrastructure. Well, that money was transferred into the general accounts of the Joburg Metro. So what are the implications of that? What was that money going to be used for? We did, by the way, ask Joburg Water to come on and talk about it. They did decline. We'll share with you exactly how they worded that declining of the offer to put their case. But we will be talking to Dr. Ferial Adam, Executive Manager of the organization WaterCan, which has kept a very close eye on the water affairs of the city of Johannesburg. We asked you this question: what would you do if a whole lot of money allowed you to have a lot more time? Because, there's the money that you can use, and before we've asked you on the show, I'm sure, if you had a lot of money or won the lottery, what would you do with the money? But I'm interested in, if you don't have to spend your time working, thinking about working, getting to work, worrying about work, lying awake because of work, what would you do with all those hours? And they would be abundant, because I am very happy to tell you, you are in a position where you will never have to work again. Sibalkulu says, if I had to have that much money, I would adopt 4 township schools, and I too would teach technology and exposure like Miss T, referring to Tola Kele. He says, I was fortunate when I grew up. We had a computer at my house, a 95 Pentium 1, and I had classes with that. So this time I would take the top performing students on European tours like my current kids do at their schools. Nice ideas. Let's hear a few more.
702. WhatsApp John
on 072
702
1702.
If I had all the time in the world, I would spend my time regenerating forests.
To have money, I would teach, equip children with every kind of skill that they need. Reading, writing, learning about subjects, teaching them about life skills and health sciences, and I would just teach. I'd be in my element doing it. I think I would even forget to eat. I would love to just do that.
Oh no, for me, if money was not an issue and I didn't have to work, I would spend my time with old people. I'll create a kind of an old age space where I would be reading, sitting with them, just, massaging them, taking care of them, listening to their stories. So that's basically what I would do. I would spend my time with old people,
Yeah, it's interesting. So many people wanting to teach, wanting to share and do whatever they can with the money, the time that having a lot of money would allow them. Now, we are involved with something called the Scatterlings Music Festival. Yeah, it's brought to you by 702 and it happens this Saturday. So get ready for an incredible celebration of culture, connection and music. Featuring Zakes Bantwini, Sjava, Sunel musician, Jay Something, Msaki, Jesse Clegg, Simi, Trezor, Spinofu, Zolani Mahola, and more, many more. Now, we're going to give you a chance to win 4 tickets. And I'll tell you exactly how you can do those in just a moment. But, when South Africa's biggest artists come together on one stage, you just know that the hottest music fest of the year is going down. The The Scatterlings Music Festival happens this Saturday. Let me remind you of those artists: Chava, Zakes Bantwini, Sanel musician Jay Something, Msaki, Jesse Clegg, Simi, Trezor, Spinofu, and plenty more. It's going to be a big day filled with all the big hits. So grab your tickets at webtickets.co.za now for the Scatterlings Music Festival at Huddle Park on the 1st of August. It's brought to you by 702. Right, you heard us play Scatterlings a moment ago. So you know this song, it's a Johnny Clegg hit, and what I'm going to ask you to do is first listen to the chorus of Scatterlings again. Then I want you to phone us on 072 702 1702. Give us your very, very, very best version of the Scatterlings chorus, and who knows, those 4 tickets could be yours. Let's just make sure you know what you've got to sing. Okay, I think you got the gist of it. Scatterlings, give us your very, very best Scatterlings shot. And who knows, you and 3 people who you absolutely love hanging out with and enjoying music with could be on your way to Huddle Park on Saturday, courtesy of 702. It's 4:15.
EWN Traffic.
Right, Karabo Chali, tell us how we're looking out on the roads, please.
Well, at this stage, John, if you're driving through the Joburg CBD, traffic remains heavily backed up. This is on the M1 southbound from Killarney Bends to the Crown Interchange due to an earlier accident. While in Alexandra, there's bumper-to-bumper traffic on the N3 southbound from Marlborough Drive to Giluli's. In 4 ways, traffic lights still not working at Cedar and Uranium. There's also traffic lights out of order in Sharon Lee at Malibongwe Drive and President Fushia. For the latest traffic updates, you can also follow us on X at EWN Traffic.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Bongani Bingwa, 702 Breakfast.
Weekday mornings, 6 to 9.
This issue of the Gauteng Provincial Legislature Speaker who went on a jaunt with some senior managers to Venezuela. Almost 6 million rand on what was meant to be a 4-day trip. And it never really even materialized in the way that it was intended. Mike, this is an unbelievable story.
Yes, it is incredible. But when you see it in the context of past behavior, Bongani, it's extraordinary. It's absolutely appalling. But on another level, it's not surprising. We've often seen with these study tours is that the ANC councillors or members of the legislature like to go to places where there's some kind of affinity on ideology basis. There's an affinity for Venezuela and Cuba and Russia and so on, and we've seen a spate of those in the past couple of years.
Mike Moriarty, Chief Whip for the DA.
Bongani Bingwa, 6 to 9.
On 702.
Vandalism and theft of water infrastructure affects everyone. Damage to pipes, meters, valves, reservoirs and other critical infrastructure can result in water outages, low pressure, sewer spillages and costly repairs that impact communities across Johannesburg. Johannesburg Water urges residents to help protect public infrastructure by reporting suspicious activity affecting the water network. To report incidents or water-related faults, call Johannesburg Water on 010 061 4470. That's 010 061 4470. Brought to you by Johannesburg Water.
Stand a chance to win a share of a red-hot 3 million rand with the Hollywood Bet Spinner Zonke jackpot race. Enter the chase and enjoy a feast of fun where every spin could unlock riveting rewards. To start your adventure, bet 2 rand or more on selected Habanero games every Wednesday, Friday and Saturday between 8:30 and 10:30 p.m. The racing revolution starts now. Dive in and prepare to take top spot. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
Smart business moves save money. Switch to Outsurance Business Insurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Here's Stephen from the Villa Rosa.
I was with my previous insurer for 8 years and then I switched to Outsurance Business Insurance. I'm very happy with the premiums and switching was the best decision we ever made.
Get a quote to switch and save today. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 0800 60,000. Licensed insurer in FSP. TCs and information online.
John Perlman
On 702.
3 to 6 p.m.
702 Drive, I spoke about politics and the courts. Well, it's certainly playing out in the Tshwane Metro. Pretoria High Court today hearing an urgent court bid by the DA. This in regard to their desire to see overturned two decisions made by the council. The one, the suspension of Tshwane City Mayor Johan Metler. The other, the reinstatement of the CFO Gareth Mnisi. Let's find out how things went in the court. Khumotso Modise, EWN reporter, was there. Khumotso, any decision by the court? How far did we get? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, John. So the matter has been reserved, or judgment in the matter has been reserved and will be handed down on Friday. We've heard the entire matter today. We were expecting arguments to be made both around the Metler matter as well as the Gareth Mnisi matter, as you said. However, very early on in the matter, we heard that they would not be addressing the Gareth Mnisi reinstatement, and that's because the proverbial horse has already bolted in that case. We heard that the matter had already been taken to a disciplinary committee and a sanction had already been handed to him. As a result, the urgent court matter would not affect his reinstatement at all. So it was agreed by council that that would be addressed in a review application that is going to be heard at a later stage. So today's matter really was more about the decision to place Johan Metler on precautionary suspension. And the arguments that have been made have centered around urgency because the DA has brought this matter to court on an urgent basis. But there's also been arguments made about the lawfulness of the vote that was taken on the 9th of July. And one of the main arguments that's made about that is the fact that on the 9th of July, when council in Tshwane decided to take a vote, there had been 13 councillors who were away on a leave of absence. However, for some reason, 9 of those councillors did show up for the council sitting and decided to vote. And the speaker then decided to disregard, discount, and remove their votes, and ultimately that resulted in the decision that was made to suspend Metler. And the arguments that have been made by the DA, John, is that there is no legal basis for the speaker to minus the votes that were made. Even if the councillors that were present were not had been said to be on a leave of absence, the arguments that they're making is that because they did show up, then their votes should be counted by law.
Wow, interesting stuff. Okay, let's see what the court decides. It's the focus very much now on the suspended municipal manager, Johan Metler. Khumotso Modise from EWN with that story updates if and when they happen. 22 minutes past 4.
John is on X.
At John Perlman.
Right, let's focus our attention now on something that might well affect you and me and a whole lot of other people. And that's because the Road Traffic Management Corporation, working, I'm sure, with the police as well, have uncovered a multi-million-rand motor vehicle licensing fraud syndicate. It's been operating in a number of provinces. Let's find out exactly what the syndicate was doing and what the implications might be. We welcome to 702 Drive Simon Zwane, who's spokesperson for the Road Traffic Management Corporation, the RTMC. Mr. Zwane, welcome and thanks very much for your time. What was the syndicate actually doing? What dark deeds were they up to?
Well, the syndicate works with vehicle fleet owners, particularly truck fleet owners and bus fleet owners.
Okay.
Who want to avoid renewing their vehicle license desks. So they would go to these people and these people would either dump all the fees onto a bogus company, in some instances into the name of deceased persons, so that the company does not have to pay anything, because now the ownership of the vehicle has passed on to other people, and then they bring it back under the original owner. That's one method that they are using.
Okay.
In another method, they would then reduce the tear of the truck to make it maybe appear as if it's a normal bakkie, and the fees applicable to a bakkie are paid. Those are reduced fees. Probably you're supposed to pay 25,000 renewal for a truck. Now you're paying 1,500 because it's a bakkie. As soon as the transaction is done, they then reinstate the tear of that vehicle, and the owner can now obtain a vehicle license disc that is proper for that vehicle. So those are some of the methods that they've been using.
So, Mr. Swane, I mean, obviously one of the implications, and we'll talk about that in a moment, is a massive loss of revenue to the authorities, money that could be used for all sorts of productive purposes. Was this also a way, though, of triggering, for example, road safety elements, for example, roadworthy tests and so on? Was it a way of trying to get around any kind of checking of the safety of the vehicles, which would, of course, have an implication for other road users?
Yes, we are aware that they also have been using credentials from the private vehicle testing stations. So they are able to even issue roadworthies. So it's also a way of avoiding to do a roadworthy. So these guys would dump the vehicle renewal fees and penalties that may be there, but would also facilitate to ensure that a roadworthy is issued to that vehicle, even though the vehicle had not undergone the vehicle roadworthy tests.
So what this raises questions about, if we look at the other part of the MOIE, Mr. Swane, how they actually did that, according to comments you made to Faisal Patel at The Citizen, and I'm just reading off Faisal's article, they've infiltrated all the provinces as they can access NATIS using credentials provided by the official contacts in all the provinces. So in other words, would that be login credentials that have been sold to the syndicate by people who actually work within the licensing system?
Yes, they're using the login details of people who are working inside different departments of transport or who are operating on the NATIS system. So they'll use those logins to get into the systems, conduct these transactions, and massive amounts of money are lost by the provincial transport departments and the national department through the use of this method.
Thank you so much. Simon Zwane, spokesperson for the Road Traffic Management Corporation. So it's great that they've made a dent in the syndicate. Hopefully the people selling those credentials are going to be rounded up and arrested, and not just, please, sent to a disciplinary committee, because this is a crime. It's the defrauding of the public purse, but it's also creating circumstances where vehicles that are not roadworthy could find themselves on the road with all the obvious hazards that would represent. Maybe you know something about this, or you've come across it in some way, heard something through the grapevine. Call us 011 883 0702 and 072 702 1702.
Your boss noticed. Your ex noticed. The neighbors definitely noticed. Because some cars say, I rented a car. And some cars say, I rented the car. Sani Sixt Rent a Car. Premium rentals. For people who don't settle. Choose the right car. Rent Sani Sixt on sani.co.za.
This past Sunday, tens of thousands showed up to walk with the people, for our Jozi in the 702 Jozi My Jozi Walk the Talk. I bet you were there. Thank you for taking the scenic route with us, creating unforgettable memories and showing the world that Joburg is more than just a city. It's a remarkable energy that connects us all. Here's to Joburg. Here's to us. Here's to the 702 Jozi Majozi Walk the Talk. Babize Bonke. Hosted by the City of Johannesburg. More on primemediaplus.com.
Find your next design obsession at Decorex Joburg. From the 30th of July to the 2nd of August, the Sandton Convention Centre becomes the destination for the latest in decor and design. Explore over 450 exhibitors across 5 levels, inspiring talks and live demos, plus the property show by Private Property. Download the Decorex app and plan your visit today. Decorex Joburg, 30th July to 2nd August. Tickets at decorex.co.za and at the door.
EWN Business.
To the markets we go now. Steve and I referred a little earlier to the cruder coaster, which is just the way oil goes up and oil goes down and often goes up and then goes up again. So that's a factor, but what else?
John, good afternoon to you. So oil hovering just below $90 a barrel. And this, of course, is because of the renewed, hostilities, conflict, people shooting things at each other between Iran and the US and US allies. Despite that, the JSE All Share up 0.7%, 110,670 points. Financials are flat, industrials up 1.4%, resources are up 0.65%. Some of them are energy shares. Exxaro is up 5.33% on the day. Volterra, that's of course the platinum miner, they're up nearly 5%. So their headline earnings, John, this is when numbers don't make sense. They just made a profit last year. But their headline earnings, therefore, are up 1,600%. So much higher platinum prices for the 6 months to the end of June. Prices were up by 85%. Their solid metal and concentrate production up 4%. Sales volumes were up 18%. Their dividend is up substantially. And so that obviously having a big impact on Volterra today. Well, number was sort of expected. Naspers is up 4.32. Tungela is up 4.3. And the other platinum miner, Implats, they're up nearly 4%. Implats, they're up nearly 4 as well, and the Fashini Group's up 3.5. Sasol is up 3, obviously on higher oil prices and the prospect of them. And then Glencore is up 2.71. And Glencore reporting today their copper production up 15% in the first half of the year to the end of June. Cobalt production down 46%. There's an export ban that's been imposed by the DRC government. Their trading team did make a first half profit of around $3.3 billion. You want to know who benefits from higher oil prices? Oil traders benefit from higher oil prices. And that's really what Glencore's talking about. And ArcelorMittal confirming their headline earnings per share will increase their loss by between 45 and 51% for the 6 months to the end of June. They've stopped production, as we know, at some plants. Still in negotiations with the IDC for the bank to take over part of that ownership. Lightstone Prop, they're down 2.3. Richmond down 1.81. Some gold miners down by around 2% as well. And Aspen down 0.88%. In the US, the main indices opening lower. So a monetary policy decision later. Obviously, the Middle East, and then, of course, chip stocks have been struggling. Asia had a disastrous day, particularly in South Korea, because of that particular issue. In the US right now, though, the Dow Jones is down 1.25%. The Nasdaq is down 0.6%. The S&P 500 is down 0.44%. The gold price, $4,005.04 now, so just hovering there, John. Platinum, $1,584.17. Brent crude, $89.90 a barrel. The rand to the dollar, 16.76 to the euro, 19.09 to the British pound, 22.28. Stephen Curtis, EWN Business.
Thanks, Stephen. 29 minutes to 5. Stephen is back with us at about 25 minutes past 5 o'clock. Right now it's time for the news with Mbali Dlamini. Good afternoon to you.
Thanks, John. Good afternoon. The Electoral Commission says the race for South Africa's municipalities is beginning to take shape with the final voter registration weekend coming up. The IEC says this marks not only the last chance for voters to register at voting stations, but also the beginning of an increasingly competitive election race. The Commission says 620 political parties are currently registered ahead of the 2026 local government elections, while preparations for candidate nomination preparations are already well advanced. The IEC's online candidate nomination system is active, and more than 79,000 representatives from political parties and independent candidates have been trained on the nomination process. The IEC's Sai Mamabolo briefed the media earlier today.
To date, 76 political parties and 39 independent candidates have started using the system, supporting early preparation for the efficient submission of nominations once the election timetable takes effect.
Parliament's Communications Committee Chairperson Kusela Diko has called for closer regulation of artificial intelligence to protect the rights of innovators and artists. Diko says this will be in the public interest for AI in the country to be more representative locally so it works for all South Africans. Diko made the policy proposals while delivering an address at the AI Governance and Policy Symposium in Johannesburg. Babalondenze has more.
Kusela Sangoni Diko says a key issue is how the country envisions the state and private sector working together in the growing AI sector. Sangoni Diko says to date only 33 countries have enacted AI legislation, with most of them in the European Union. She says as Parliament, they must be the custodians of regulating AI in the public interest.
What is the public interest? Training AI on representative local data, supporting our 12 official languages, heritage preservation and not its erasure, protection of the intellectual property rights of our writers, artists and innovators, respect for human rights of our citizens, particularly their right to privacy.
Today's AI Policy and Governance Symposium comes a few months after the country's own AI policy had to be withdrawn, after it was revealed that the document contained fake AI-generated hallucinations. Babalondenze, Eyewitness News.
And in France, more than 2,000 firefighters have been deployed to assist in the fight against major wildfires in the Gironde region. The fires have forced thousands of people to evacuate across France in recent days, destroying around 240 homes. Neighbouring Spain and Portugal are also battling severe wildfires on their end. More than 70,000 people had to be evacuated in Spain, although many have now been allowed to return to their homes. Authorities say the extreme heat from the latest heat wave as well as dry conditions continue to fuel the wildfires across southern Europe. A partly cloudy Thursday in store for Gauteng tomorrow, lows of between 4 and 8 degrees and highs of between 20 and 23.
Travelling through the Joburg CBD heading towards Boysens, you can now expect about a 20-minute delay M1 southbound from Killarney Bends to the Crown Interchange, while in Edenville, travelling towards Germiston, bumper-to-bumper traffic. This is on the N3 southbound from Modderfontein Road all the way to Van Buren.
The top story in EWN, the Electoral Commission says the race for South Africa's municipalities is beginning to take shape with the final registration weekend coming up.
Thinking about selling gold or diamonds, but not sure who to trust? At Gold Capital, we don't pressure, we don't rush. We simply give you a free, honest valuation and pay instantly if you're happy. For over 30 years, Gold Capital has helped South Africans turn jewelry, Krugerrands and gold coins into cash, earning thousands of 5-star Google reviews along the way. Get your free valuation today at goldcapital.co.za. Gold Capital, trusted since 1992.
Your boss noticed. Your ex noticed. The neighbors definitely noticed. Because some cars say, I rented a car. And some cars say, I rented the car. Sani Sixt Rent a Car. Premium rentals. For people who don't settle. Choose the right car. Rent Sani Sixt on sani.co.za.
That's Sia, before he got naked. Sia had a bumper bash and had to reattach his fender using duct tape and a prayer. So Sia got naked. He got comprehensive car insurance in seconds and can now submit claims instantly on the Naked app. No more arts and crafts for you, Sia. Cover your car and home now at naked.insure and see how easy insurance can be when you get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
When Joburg came together in the iconic CBD for the 702 Jozi My Jozi Walk the Talk, unforgettable moments were made, and none of it would have been possible without our incredible partners.
I'm Adam Craker. I'm one of the directors of Jozi My Jozi. I actually did the very first Walk the Talk, and I just really wanted to see this happen again. We decided to partner because we really wanted to bring people back into the inner city. Just amazing to see how many people have come out to see Jozi in transformation, and just really wonderful. And I think 702 has done a fantastic job at building the expectations behind this event.
Thank you to all our partners who showed that great things happen when Joburg comes together for the 702 Jozi My Jozi Walk the Talk, hosted by the City of Johannesburg.
702. WhatsApp John
on 072
702
1702.
It's Bongani from Guatemala speaking. If I had to have all the time and the money in the world, I would actually start a under 10, under 11 soccer team in rural areas. Because what I've noticed is that in those rural areas, there's no actually something like a school of excellence. So I think I would create a school of excellence in one of those rural townships. Maybe deep down in the rural areas in Eastern Cape or in KZN. Yeah, that's what I would do, just look for talent and try and groom the kids. And yeah, I think that's what I would do. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Tate John and the team. Tate John, the Americans just realized how profitable football is. So now they're trying everything in their power to get their hands in the cookie jar. They've realized how big it is and how profitable it is, because look, if they made 15 billion in a month, what else can make you 15 billion in a month? So yes, they would be giving money to their associations, but how much more money are they going to be making? So as you said, FIFA is good as it is, where people are accountable to their associations that they belong to, and it not being a profit money-making scheme.
Yeah, thanks. And I'd love to get other views on that. If you're wondering what we're talking about, the proposal coming out of the leadership of FIFA, obviously headed by the president, Gianni Infantino, is talking about something called FIFA Forward Enterprises, in which a 20% stake in all the things around major competitions, TV rights, and so on, could actually be bought by private investors. They wouldn't have a controlling share, so they wouldn't necessarily be able to say, why don't we have the World Cup twice a year, or any, I'm always reticent about calling any idea stupid and crazy, because, sometimes those become things that actually happen. But yeah, if you've got a view on that, please do give us a call. My own view is that football should be run by football, and I don't think you can have sponsors and partners. I don't think you should have any private investors in football's competitions. That would be my view. Even if there is more money, which is being punted as money available for development, I think football should hang on to its own, look after it, make it as profitable as possible, which they're clearly already very good at, and then, make sure the development money actually hits the mark. I think that's more than enough work for the next 4 years, but that's just my view. Please do share with me yours. Now, we were talking earlier about a fabulous thing coming up this weekend. It is the Scatterlings Music Festival. 702 is backing it. There's a stunning array of artists, Msaki, Sanel musicians, Java, Zakespan, Twini, amongst them. And we've got 4 tickets to give away. So the way you can win those 4 tickets is give us your very best version of the chorus of this song, after which the music festival is named. Okay, you know the tune. Give us your best Johnny Clegg or your best version of yourself, because Other people have sung the song. I'm certain there's going to be a version of it sung on Saturday at Huddle Park. It's a fabulous, fabulous lineup, and it's a great venue, by the way, Huddle Park. So why not? You could go with 3 other people. Send those voice renditions, please, to 072 702 1702. It's 18 minutes to 5.
EWN Sport.
So Tolakele, a huge program for the Springboks, and Rassie Erasmus is not only a coach, it would seem, but a juggler. He's got to figure out who plays when and for how long.
Absolutely, John. And he'll use the one-off test against Argentina to give minutes to a host of players who've returned from injury as they also build towards the home series against New Zealand. The Springboks won all 3 of their home fixtures in the Nations Championship without a core group of experienced players who include World Cup winners Siya Kolisi and Ibn Etzebeth. The Boks next take on the Pumas on the 8th of August and will be without the injured Oxenchair and Franco Marstedt.
I can see everybody's asking questions about New Zealand, but we have to beat Argentina next week, so let's get past that hurdle. All of our guys have played a lot of URC rugby. Most of our players has been involved in the first 3 matches, so we feel comfortable that over a 4-test match series against New Zealand, you probably shouldn't peak in the first game and then not be able to last the last 4 games, all 4 games.
SA Rugby have confirmed the dates for the Cape Town leg of the HSBC 7 series, which will be on the 5th and the 6th of December. The highly popular event will be the second stop on the World Series. That's a week after the 2027 campaign kicks off in Dubai. The Blitzboks will return to the DHL Stadium looking for a hat-trick of home titles. Switching over to football, where Josko Gavidal has signed a new 5-year contract at Manchester City until 2031. The central defender has so far made 122 appearances since arriving from RB Leipzig back in 2023. He returned to action in May after more than 4 months out with a broken leg and is now hoping to establish himself under new manager Enzo Maresca.
Yeah, so most of the guys, they've had opportunity before to work with him. I haven't met him before, so I'm really looking forward. I think he's one of the best as well. We all know the job he's done at Chelsea. Really happy to that he's here with us, and I think we can learn something new from his ideas and his mentality.
Jurrien Timber has travelled back to London from Arsenal's training camp in Spain after suffering a reoccurrence of the groin injury that caused him to miss the end of last season. While in Tunisia, their federation have appointed Moin Shabani as head coach. That's until 2030 as he succeeds Hervé Renard, who took charge of their final 2 group matches at the 2026 World Cup. For Neymar, he's now confirmed his international retirement after Brazil's quarter-final exit at the hands of Norway. He's his country's record goal scorer with 80 goals and was included in the squad almost 3 years after he last played for the national team. Tola Gelemganga, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
At 4:45, this EWN Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now. You could save on car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. To the roads we go. Karabo Chali awaits with everything you need to know.
Yeah, at this stage, if you are traveling through the Joburg CBD, you can still expect about a 20-minute delay. This is on the M1 southbound from Killarney Benz to the Crown Interchange. This is all due to an earlier accident, which has been cleared, but the damage has already been done. While in Edenville, bumper-to-bumper traffic, N3 South from Modderfontein Road to Van Buren. In Benoni, traffic heavily backed up on Atlas Road approaching the N12. In Northcliffe, traffic remains sluggish on Bayers Nordia between Judges and the N1. And in Roodepoort, there's slow-moving traffic on Hendrik Potgieter between Johan Street and Peter Road. If you come across any other traffic issues, kindly WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Clever excuses for being late, number 96. My dog ran out and I had to chase him for 5 kilometers. Fortunately, with the Outsurance pointsman on the roads, you no longer have to come up with creative excuses for being late. The Outsurance pointsmen have been easing traffic congestion so we all get to where we need to be quickly and safely for the past 20 years. With Outsurance, you really always get something out. In partnership with 702, Outsurance is a licensed insurer in the FSP.
Drive home with John Perlman
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
Are you watching The Masked Singer every Saturday at 7 o'clock on SABC2? If you miss it, repeats at 9 o'clock on SABC1 and Fridays at 1:30 on SABC2. I ask you that because in a moment, well, fairly shortly, we're going to be talking to the person who designs and makes the quite extraordinary costumes that the performers appear in. Really a remarkable feat of design, not only in just the pure look, but of course people actually have to be able to move around and sing inside of them. It's an interview I'm really looking forward to. We'll talk to costume designer Heidi de Toy shortly. It's 12 minutes now to 5.
John Perlman
On 702.
3 to 6 p.m.
Something caught my eye, and I'm not even entirely sure why it caught my eye, but it did. So here we go. It's a study published in the Journal of Applied Psychology. No, I didn't pick up a copy. It was a rendition of what exactly the article was about. So here we go. It's a study of mothers who are also working in jobs. And the thing that it engages with is the idea that some people take the view that once a woman who's in the workplace has a child or maybe a second child or whatever, they have some kind of conflict. And there's a concept, I don't know if it's prevalent in South Africa, of something called the motherhood penalty, that mothers are often perceived as having less time and crucially less bandwidth for the workplace, and that may affect their opportunities for hiring, promotion, pay increases, and so on. This study suggests that it's exactly the opposite, that in fact, mothers often, as they build their families, come to work with a stronger sense of purpose, and that purpose is driven by two things. One is they're providers, so there are kids who need to be looked after. They're investing not just in their future, but the future of young members of a family that they're now busy created, but also that they're actually trying to convey to this growing family around them values that, yeah, this is work, this is what striving is about, this is what achievement is about, this is what dedication is about. So I thought it was a really, really interesting study, and you can pick it up. As I said, it was a study done actually in Hong Kong by the Chinese University of Hong Kong, and it's in the Journal of Applied Psychology. That's enough interview material for you to do a Google. But the question I'd like to ask is for mothers who are in the workplace. I mean, what is your experience? And does anything that I've said there in my very, very brief and simplistic summary of a much more detailed study, I'm sure, does that ring a bell with you? So very broadly speaking, tell us about your life as a working mother and how you cope, how you deliver at home and how you deliver at work, and whether any of these ideas make sense. Tola Kelly, I'm sure you know a good number of working mothers. What do you make of what this university in Hong Kong has come up with?
From the mothers that I know, for me, they always say to me, when you become a mother, you have to think about it in the sense of you are the only parent, even when there's a partner in the house. So that pushes them to make sure that when they're working, they're constantly striving and constantly achieving things, because they want to make sure that this child that they have has the best of everything and to make up for the things that they didn't have.
Right.
So I do think that really does push how they navigate the work environment, but also there's less risk taking from them, because they know that they can't be like, I'll use myself an example. Me, I go with the wind. When I'm like, you know what, maybe it's been like 15 years in this position. Let me try something new. For them, it's not an easy decision to make, because they know that it has a knock-on effect on everybody else in the house. So I think they flourish where they are, but they also know that they can't be as careless as maybe someone that doesn't
carefree,
have someone that doesn't have children.
Yeah. Please don't take a risk. Just stick around. We've very much like having you here, as do the listeners. Karabo, obviously not a working mom, but thoughts?
Yeah, well, I can talk about my mom. She was a nurse for a short while, and I remember she used to work long hours, night shifts, and when she got home, she would overcompensate. She would feel bad that I've left my kids and they feel neglected. and she'll spoil us rotten. And my dad will be like, they are fine. They will grow to understand that you also have to work and earn money. And my dad didn't like the overcompensating and spoiling. But hey, I was not complaining. But I felt sorry for her because she didn't really have to do that because we were fine. And I see with a lot of parents as well, even me as a dad, maybe when I'm overworking overtime, or I haven't been home in a long time, I would feel that I think I'm neglecting my son, and then I'll overcompensate. And then on weekends, we'll do a whole lot of activities that we don't really have to do all of that. But yeah, I get it.
Overcompensate. I don't think it's a bad thing. Yeah. Anyway, I have never been in that position, so let me not comment. Liz says, single moms were my best employees, an early contribution to our debate. It's not so much a debate, our exploration, and maybe, who knows, a debate. But your thoughts, please, on 072 702 1702.
Drive home with John Perlman
On 702. Let's walk the talk.
Well, The Masked Singer is something that many people are enjoying. It's another season, some fabulous episodes of it already. Catch it, as I said, Saturdays at 7 on SABC2. But I've been very intrigued about the actual costumes, and they're way more than masks. I think that barely describes it. The intricacy and the complexity of the design of the costume that the person puts on before they perform. So we thought we'd speak to the person behind that. Heidi du Toit is costume designer at The Masked Singer and joins us on 702 Drive. Heidi, a very good afternoon to you. My understanding is you get given a theme or a subject that you've got a design for, and I'm looking at the design done for spinach. How on earth, when you're given spinach as a concept, do you turn it into something as visually wonderful as that?
Hi, John. Yes. So what they do is they give us a picture.
Mhm.
They so Anele and Frankie and Paul will come up with a picture, and they give us the exact picture that they designed on the computer, and then they say this is what they want, so bring it to life.
Yes.
And we are the miracle makers that gives life to that picture. So first of all, you need to look at the picture, and you have to decide, okay, what fabrics are you going to use to create that jacket? How are you going to create the costume itself with the leaves on it? So we do printing, and things like that. And then the mask, of course. That is the most important thing.
Yeah. So the designs have got to be functional as well. The person's got to
must
be able
be,
to
yes.
move. Do you design it with a particular singer in mind? I mean, I'm, for example, looking at the giraffe, which is magnificent. I'm thinking, all 1.67 meters of me. I would like to be giraffe, but maybe you'd say, well, bit ambitious. We'll design something for your physical, for the way you look physically. Do you have a person in mind, or do you just go purely on the concept?
No, what happened is Anele and Frankie and usually interview the person, and they decide who is going to be behind the mask. So they'll tell me this person is going to be that mask. So sometimes they use the character as well. The personality of the person that's going to wear the mask must suit the mask as well. So and they do that. That is usually their choice who they're going to put in what mask. And yes, so it is not my choice, but usually, you start working with that person, you take their measurements, you get to meet them. Sometimes it's people that's been clients or someone that you know for a long time. So that's always nice to just see them again and work with them on this project as well. So and then you from there it starts. You start designing the costume itself. We start working on the mask. So we must make sure that it's not too heavy.
Yes.
And they must breathe. Breathe is very important.
Yes.
And that is sometimes, it's difficult, especially with spinach while we're talking about spinach. So spinach don't have a lot of holes that you can put in to put breathing space in. So, but we always put fans in the masks so that, that they can breathe and that it's more comfortable for them. And we make sure that there's a little bit of breathing holes, and they must see. So the other thing is to see through that mask.
So Heidi, I mean, are you sometimes blown away by your own work? And I'll tell you what I mean by that, because obviously you have to be extremely practical, very, very focused, and you deliver something which then becomes part of a larger piece of television magic like The Masked Singer. And then you see them either in the performance or maybe you see them in a TV production. Do you find yourself saying, wow, I had no idea it was going to look that good?
I must say yes, that's true. I do, but I must also add that it's not only me. I've got an amazing team working with me. I've got such creative people that is by my side that works with me, and together we make this magic. And we only had 4 weeks to create 17 masks for season 3, and usually we have 2 to 3 months, and then I always say this is not enough time. But this time we pulled it off, and afterwards we sat down and we were looking back at the journey and looking, because we also work backstage.
Yes.
So sitting backstage, looking on the screen from the back or peeping through while they're busy doing their performance, you sit back and you say, wow, how did we do this?
Yeah, that's a great feeling.
Yeah,
yeah,
it is. That is job satisfaction. That is what makes you tick. That's what makes you going on and want to do it again.
Well, Heidi, just the last thing, when you're done with the giraffe suits, I'd very much like to have it, but we can talk about that when the show when the show's over. Thank you so much, Heidi du Toit.
It's a great pleasure. You're welcome to come and have it, to try it on.
Oh, yeah, let's do a fitting. Heidi du Toit, costume designer at The Masked Singer. Watch her work and the work of everybody else involved on Saturday night at 7 o'clock on SABC2.
Uncertainty is rising, but your business still has to deliver. Production targets need to be met. And when your workforce is out of balance, the cost is immediate. Too many employees? Costs climb. Too few? Productivity drops. Workforce Staffing helps businesses stay in control with flexible workforce solutions, deployed within 48 hours nationwide. When demand changes, your workforce can change with it. Visit workforcestaffing.co.za. Stay productive, stay flexible, stay in control.
Will you survive the AI revolution or thrive? Regenesis presents the School of AI, the first of its kind in Africa. Powered by 100 world-class AI experts delivering cutting-edge training, consulting and real-world AI solutions. Regenesis has embedded compulsory AI modules across all their programs and 12 of their schools, from business and law to education and technology. Join the movement now. Enroll at regenesis.net. Regenesis, one institution leading the way.
Do you ever get that wake up, dress up, show up kind of energy? Well, it's final voter registration weekend. On the 1st and 2nd of August from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., registration stations open across South Africa. So show up and register to vote in the upcoming local government elections. Call 0800 11 8000, visit elections.org.za or WhatsApp 0600 8800 00 for more info. This message is brought to you by the IEC.
This is EWN.
A senior IDAC investigator served with a notice of suspension and yet another vehicle recall. This time it's Toyota Land Cruisers. Good afternoon, I'm Bali Dlamini. Senior IDAC investigator Sunil Belachun has been served with a notice of intention to suspend him. This was revealed by former IDAC head Andrea Johnson during her testimony at the Madlanga Commission this afternoon. Earlier this month, Belachun was the subject of explosive testimony by Witness N, an investigator attached to the Political Killings Task Team. Witness N alleged that he extorted regular cash payments from undocumented suspected Pakistani and Bangladeshi shop owners in the Eastern Cape. Alpha Ramshwana reports.
Senior IDEC investigator Sanil Belochin is also accused of recently interviewing suspended police sergeant Fanny Nkosi in prison in the absence of his lawyers. In an affidavit before the commission, Nkosi claims Belochin tried to pressure him into implicating suspended National Police Commissioner Fanny Masemola and Crime Intelligence head Dumsani Kumalo in a corrupt relationship with Vusmu Ziket Matlala. Former IDEC head Andrea Johnson says she has it on good authority that Belochin, who she worked with before leaving IDEC, is currently being investigated internally.
I'm given to understand that Mr. Belochin received a notice yesterday indicating an intention for him to be suspended, and I would assume it comes only out of that matter because, Chair, that was the first matter that I have escalated to the IDEC judge.
IDEC Ombud Judge Takarani Rauringa serves as the independent oversight authority responsible for probing abuse of power and misconduct allegations within the unit. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News, Pretoria.
The Johannesburg High Court has dismissed the latest bid for bail by self-proclaimed political fixer Brown Mogotsi after finding he failed to present any new facts. Mogotsi brought an application against the magistrate's decision to deny him bail twice after he could not provide a verifiable address. He faces charges linked to allegedly staging his assassination attempt on his life in November 2025. The charges include unlawful possession of a firearm and ammunition, unlawful discharge of a firearm in a public space, and defeating the ends of justice. The NPA's Mahaboke Mohlalotole.
The High Court found that he failed to present any genuine new facts to justify reconsideration of bail and dismissed the appeal. The NPA welcomes the judgment, which upholds the principle governing bail applications and protects the integrity of the criminal justice system.
The Western Cape's new top cop has vowed to crack down on gun violence and gender-based violence when he takes office this weekend. Earlier today, Acting National Police Commissioner Puleng Dimpane announced Sizakele Janji as the province's new police commissioner. Janji officially takes over on Saturday, replacing Tembisile Pategile, who retired at the end of June after 5 years in the post. Ntutuzelo Nene has more.
Lieutenant General Janji says he's honored by the confidence shown in him by the SAPS leadership and the Western Cape government. Over the 34 years in the police service, the veteran has held several senior positions in both the Western and Eastern Cape. He says his immediate priorities include strengthening police stations and using technology to support intelligence-led policing.
I have a faith in competence and support of the policemen and the policewomen in the province in ensuring that all people of the Western Cape are safe and they do feel safe.
Janji is one of 4 newly appointed provincial police commissioners announced by the SAPS, with Limpopo, Northwest and Mpumalanga also to receive new provincial leadership. Ndutuzelo Nene, Eyewitness News.
The National Consumer Commission has announced yet another vehicle recall, this time affecting some Toyota urban cruiser vehicles. This follows an issue identified with the fuel indicator, which may result in drivers thinking they have more fuel than the car actually has. The recall affects over 2,200 cars, majority of which were sold in the South African market and the others exported to neighbouring countries. The Consumer Commission says the low fuel warning light of the affected cars may not turn on as the fuel decreases. Spokesperson Petro Ndaba.
We urge consumers who own a Toyota urban cruiser, which was sold between 17 January 2025 to 3rd of March 2025, to take their vehicles to any authorized Toyota dealership for a quick inspection. Toyota has informed the NCC that a total of 2,015 vehicles are part of a recall in the country.
And in the UK, Prime Minister Andy Burnham has declined to comment on whether he would support attempts to legalise assisted dying. This comes after fresh attempts to legalise helping someone end their life surfaced. Burnham says social care reforms are needed first in order to legalise the act. His comments are the first time he has addressed the sensitive issue since taking power less than 2 weeks ago. The bill failed in Parliament in April after being rejected in Britain's unelected upper house. Gold is trading at $4,005.23 an ounce. The rand is at 16.79 to the dollar, 22.31 to the pound, 19.12 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $86.85 a barrel.
Driving through the Joburg CBD, you can still expect about a 20-minute delay. M1 southbound from Killarney Benz to the Crown Interchange due to an earlier accident. In Alex, heading towards Germiston, bumper-to-bumper traffic. N3 south from Modderfontein Road to Van Buren. And in Germiston, heading towards Boksburg, expect some delays. N12 eastbound between the Kilulis Interchange and Croft Road.
In your sport, CONCACAF joined UEFA in condemning FIFA's plans for World Cup sell-off. Sipho changed starting from scratch after setting a new record mark in the Betway Premiership last season. And Formula One bosses say the season will end in Europe if war continues.
A partly cloudy Thursday in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Johannesburg dropping to overnight lows of 6 degrees, peaking at 20. Pretoria 8 and 23, and Vereeniging 4 and 21 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour, senior IDAC investigator Sanil Belachun has been served with a notice of intention to suspend him.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
702.
Drive home with John Perlman.
John Perlman, 3 to 6 p.m.
On 92.7 and 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
702 Drive, it's 8 minutes past 5. It's good to have you with us for the last part of the show. Coming up shortly, we're going to be talking to Dr. Ferial Adam. She's Executive Manager at the organization WaterCan. Our conversation with her prompted by an article on the Daily Maverick site written by the journalist Yvonne Grimbeek. And what the story details is how on the last day of June, the city of Joburg took 3.4 billion rand out of Joburg Water's account, leaving the entity with a balance of zero. Now, that money from the 1st of July, revenue generated by the sale of water, is supposed to be ring-fenced and used for the upgrade, maintenance, and hopefully extension in terms of quality of the city's water provision network. So it's a complicated issue. It's been raised in a number of forums. We did, by the way, invite Joburg Water to come on the show, but we'll explain to you what answer they gave us in response to that request. So we'll chat to Dr. Adam shortly about that. A lot of you have had thoughts on what was said by Simon Zwane, who joined us after 4 from the Road Traffic Management Corporation. He was talking about a syndicate that had infiltrated the NATIS database and was being used to allow fleet managers, for example, to pay much less in licensing fees by registering or changing the weight of the vehicle, suggesting through its what's referred to as the tear, suggesting from the size of the tear that it was a bakkie and not a much, much larger vehicle, paying, I think in his words, around 1,600 rand per vehicle instead of closer to 25,000. So loss of revenue and some safety implications as well, with some fraudulent roadworthy certificates being issued by the same syndicate. Many of you have had thoughts on that. We'll play those in just a moment as well. We offered an opportunity to win 4 tickets to the Scatterlings Music Festival, which takes place on Saturday at Huddle Park. We'll give you our winner. You'll meet our winner and hear them sing in a moment. And speaking of music, later in the show, what artist would you like to have perform at your funeral, and what song would you like them to sing or play? Please keep those coming on 072 702 1702. Your voice notes.
702. WhatsApp John
On 072
702
1702.
Hey, John and the 702 family. That study is so accurate. I look at myself, my achievements, how, my work ethic has been. It all goes back to the kids. And guess what? My children have seen, how I did things. and their work ethic is so excellent. I look at my son today and I am a proud mom. I look at my second-year university student. I am such a proud mother. Well done to that research. They got it spot on.
Hi, John. Regarding the roadworthy certificates being issued, most car dealerships are operating with this roadworthy certificates because it's an absolute disaster to go stand in line and wait a whole day for roadworthy or for your license disc or for your police clearance. The license department is the failing system, not the issuing of the certificates. Yes, does it allow cars that are not roadworthy on the road? There are some that are getting it, yes, but most of it is convenience. That's the important thing, and we don't have that because of the system that is in the license department. It's a failing system. Thank you, Uthman from Johannesburg.
Yeah, thanks for those. And by the way, just in reference to that first voice note that you might have heard with interest but not necessarily know the context, my mistake in not telling you. I referred earlier to a very interesting study published in the Journal of Applied Psychology, which suggests that far from working mothers actually being in some way, shape or form possibly a kind of liability in the workplace, in fact, the study shows that they bring all sorts of assets and drive to the workplace. On the one hand, their role as providers, but secondly, and that was really echoed in the voice note we got, which was lovely, saying that these mothers are actually looking to be role models in their own families, indicate to their children and everyone who's part of perhaps an extended family what can be achieved and what can be done if you go into a workplace and you drive and you push and you look to thrive and bring those values, but also the material rewards back home. So your experience as a working mother, please do give us a call, not necessarily speaking to the specific point I've raised, but anything at all that you'd like to talk about, give us a call. It's 14 minutes past 5.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now. You could save on car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Karabo Chali is keeping an eye on things. Seems to have been a reasonable day today. I hope I'm not putting any kind of hex on that.
I might say, it wasn't that hectic, or it hasn't been that hectic. But yeah, it is peak hour traffic. So it is quite a little bit busy. So let me start. If you are leaving Roodepoort heading towards Soweto, there's an accident scene in Pennyville, N1 South. This is before the N17, causing huge delays from Gordon Road. In Northcliffe, traffic sluggish on Beyers Nordia between Judges and the N1. Roodepoort, also traffic a bit slow on Hendrik Potgieter between Johan Street and Peter Road. While in the Joburg CBD, there's bumper-to-bumper traffic still on the M1 southbound from Killarney Bends to the Crown Interchange. Alexandra, peak hour traffic through heading towards Bedford View. This is on the N3 southbound from Modderfontein Road all the way to Van Buren. Germiston, expect some delays heading towards Boksburg, Brakpan. That's the N12 eastbound between the Gilulis Interchange and Croft Road. And finally, in Benoni, there's heavy delays on Atlas Road approaching the N12. This is due to faulty traffic lights. If you come across any other traffic issues, kindly WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
30 minutes doom scrolling goes by quickly, but 30 minutes stuck in traffic feels like a lifetime. Thankfully, the Outsurance pointsmen are here to save the day. These heroes in green and purple have been easing traffic congestion for the past 20 years. The Outsurance pointsmen, helping everyone get where they need to be quickly and safely. Just another way you always get something out. In proud partnership with 702. Show them some love online using hashtag pointsmenlove. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Clement Maniatella.
Weekday mornings,
9 to 12.
9 to 12.
What commitment did the Nigerian government make to help South Africa
deal with that concern that was raised?
One of the things they did commit to was to say where they can in other countries when they have visits of high-level officials, they commit to engage their nationals to say that when you are hosted by another country, you must respect the laws and you must engage in a manner that is respectful of that country.
Will they engage their citizens who are here?
We hope that in the future where there's such a high-level delegation to Nigeria, there would be such an engagement. But more importantly, between the two countries, there will be what we call the early warning mechanism, where we start seeing trends that are concerning about our nationals in the two countries. We will raise this through diplomatic channels.
Crispin Piri, spokesperson for the Department of International Relations.
Clements Manyatela.
9 to 12 on 702.
Thinking about studying but waiting for the right time? With Richfield's online qualifications designed to fit around your life, the right time is now. But you better hurry because their mid-year applications close soon. Whether you're working, changing careers or ready to level up, you can choose degrees and diplomas in business and IT as well as a prestigious online MBA. Plus you can study online from anywhere. Applications close soon, so apply today at richfield.ac.za. Richfield, your future enriched.
In the 1960s, Douglas Engelbart had a thought. What if you could jump from one idea to another with just a click? That question led him to pioneer how hypertext would work. And this laid the foundation of how we navigate the internet today. See, whether you're reinventing the future or building something new, you need the right foundations to start. At Ex-Nihilo, we give you the right foundation to host your big idea. Ex-Nihilo, trusted in hosting.
Mama Million here, and yes, I am a millionaire. I see it's payday. Hey, but they didn't pay you nicely. Our shop. You know who will pay you nicely? The National Lottery. If you turn payday into playday. Play today, play the lotto, play Powerball, and get paid nicely. The National Lottery. More plays, more chances, more millions. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The National Lottery is officially operated by Sisakai.
Some parcels are more than parcels. They're gifts, opportunities, supplies, and moments people are counting on. That's why CourierIt makes it easy to book, send, and track your parcel online, moving it from your door to anywhere nationwide. And with 2,700 pickup points, sending has never been more convenient. With real-time visibility, reliable delivery, and people who care, we help you deliver what matters. Move it with CourierIt, because your parcel deserves more. Sign up on courierit.co.za.
702 is in conversation with Capitec, discussing how South Africans can protect themselves against financial crime.
Right now, the tactic that we are seeing most is an SMS that looks like a bank fraud alert. A typical message could read something like, so-and-so bank, suspicious transaction of 39,050 Rand from your business account at Sunbet Casinos, Pretoria today. And then it says reply yes if valid or no if fraud, or it gives you then a number to call. And the setup works whichever way you respond. The scammer now has confirmation that there's a real person that is engaging with that number, and they will call you directly. If you call the number in the SMS instead, you are calling straight into the scammer's own fake call center. So either way, you are not talking to your bank. You are talking to a criminal who has been waiting for exactly that.
Slam the scam with Capitec. Capitec is an authorized financial services provider and registered credit provider.
John is on X.
At John Perlman.
702 Drive, let's talk water in the city of Johannesburg. A story on the Daily Maverick website by the journalist Yvonne Grimbeek has pointed out, I'll read the first sentence. On the last day of June, the city of Johannesburg took 3.4 billion Rand out of Johannesburg Water's account, leaving the entity with a balance of zero. Only on 9 July was money from the ring fence funding transferred back into the account. These issues have been going on for a while, and one of the problems that the city of Johannesburg faces through its entity Joburg Water is firstly fixing what is broken, secondly building infrastructure like reservoirs and other things essential to driving a much better delivery of water provision to the city, and thirdly there are contractors who actually need to be paid, and this has been a perpetual problem. So what's going on here, and are we at the very least starting to see an end of this now that ring fencing is being introduced? Let's welcome to the show Dr. Ferial Adam, who is the executive manager of the organization WaterCan. Dr. Adam, is this just a glitch as a new system comes in, or is it a continuation of a much deeper problem?
Good afternoon, John, and good afternoon to all your listeners. I think it is not a glitch. It's something of a deeper problem, especially because if you look at the money that's been swept, and this is the same kind of thing that's been happening with the sweeping, is that the money is not going to be going back, even though it's taken as a loan. The money does not go back to Joburg Water. So I think that this is a deeper problem that we're facing.
So Joburg Water, in a report to the Provincial Johannesburg Working Group, again, I'm working from Yvonne's piece, and we did invite the PJWG to come on the show. We've never actually managed to secure their participation. They noted, quote, the lack of consistent and predictable receipts compromises the ability to plan to pay creditors and continues to build pressure at JW. Now, Joburg Water also said they're not going to come on. They said the matter can be referred to the city of Joburg, as the city is the appropriate authority to explain its own budgeting and expenditure decisions. But they're being very clear that this makes it extremely difficult to do their job.
Absolutely, because if you think about it, they need the money to actually pay contractors, and they've been unable to. They can't, every time they get stuck, projects get put on hold, and then they need to beg for the money back into their accounts. And this is definitely, it's not a once-off thing. It's not a glitch. It's been happening for a number of years, and we're constantly reporting on this. And I do think that it's affecting now. The longer we carry on like this, the more the impact's going to be on infrastructure.
Well, this conversation with the presidential group, and again reflected in the Daily Maverick piece, this is the cost of these delays: 1,445 days in delays, in other words, work that couldn't be done, 481 million rand in cost overruns, which means we're spending 481 million that we didn't have to in a cash-strapped city, and 676 million rand in lost production. They say 85% of late payments lead to severe cash flow constraints. Can you think of particular projects or things that need doing that have been specifically delayed by this, so that rather than me giving all these numbers, listeners can actually visualize and say, oh, okay, that's why that hasn't actually been done?
So, if you recall, earlier this year, Joburg Water announced that they were going to be fixing a number of reservoirs, one of which is the Hurst Hill 2 reservoir, and that's also covered in Yvonne's article. That reservoir is supposed to be completed in August. It's only 20% done. In fact, in Yvonne's article, she says it will be, according to Joburg Water's website, it's supposed to be completed in December. There's no way it's going to be completed in December. The Hurst Hill 2 reservoir feeds a very big part of Joburg. It feeds Emerentia, Greenside, parts of Parktown, parts of Mayfair, all of those areas. And so the kind of outages that those areas experience every time we go through maintenance, whether it's Rand Water maintenance or any other kind of outage, some of those areas like Melville, they'll go 3 weeks without water, and that is because the water in the commando system is so damaged, and Hurst Hill 1 and 2 are both damaged reservoirs. So that's what it does. It doesn't allow for those big infrastructure. But having said that, I spoke to some of the Joburg Water people as well, and it's affecting basic things, John, like the depots don't have telecoms to actually get instructions or to give instructions. So you don't have a phone, you don't have data to actually tell a team to go out and fix the pipes or whatever. That's the level that it affects the functioning of Joburg Water.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ferrial Adams. She is CEO of the organization WaterCan. It's 26 minutes past 5.
forget it.
Be
I've
in it
teamed
to
up with
win it
Checkers
with
to
Hollywood
bring you
Bet
some
and
of my
Playtech.
favourite
1.5 million rand in cash and a Hafal Jolion Pro are up for grabs. Bet 2 rand or more on slots, 10 rand or more on crash, and 50 rand or more on live casino games. Slots such as Mega Fireblaze light up the reels. Cash it and kick it make multiplier magic while adventures in Wonderland Live bring fantasy to life in live casino. Competition runs until 31 July. Bet now.
T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counselling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. What's for dinner tonight, South Africa? Hiya, Jamie Oliver here. Dinner stress? Forget it. I've teamed up with Checkers to bring you some of my favourite recipes the whole family will love. Like my tasty superfood quinoa salad, veggie, gluten-free and packed with goodness. Easy peasy and delicious. Shop the ingredients on Checkers 6060 and boom, delivered in 60 minutes. Every week, 5 brand new dinner ideas. Checkers, dinner done better.
It's Winter Carnival at Food Lovers Market. Save big with 16-piece chicken braai packs at only $59.99 per kilo. 3 200-gram white button mushroom punnets for 50 rand. An 18-pack of Food Lovers 2-ply toilet paper for $99.99. And 2 2-liter bottles of Food Lovers canola oil for just 120 rand. Valid until Sunday, 2 August, only at Food Lovers Market.
Humans are very good at planning some things. A weekend bribe, being first in the queue for fresh cinnamon rolls. But the big things? Like what happens to the people we love if life suddenly changes? Not so much. That's why Liberty and 702 are having a conversation about protecting your family's financial future. Next week on the Clement Mangatela Show, a Liberty expert answers your questions, helping you turn uncertainty into a plan. WhatsApp your questions about life and legacy planning to 072-702-1702 with the keyword Liberty. Join the conversation and take the next step towards securing your family's future. Liberty, in it with you on 702.
EWN Business.
At 28 minutes past 5, let's get the very latest from the markets. Stephen Curtis is just stepped into the studio. Hi.
John, good afternoon. And Brent crude just stepping over $90 a barrel, I'm afraid. Despite that, the JSE ending the day up 0.5%, 110,440 points. Financials down 0.16. Industrials up 1.08. Resources up 0.57% on the day. Some of that is energy shares. So Tongela's up nearly 5%. Exara's up 4.5%. Sasol's up 3.33%. Glencore up 2.59%. They're in the coal business, but they reported strong copper production figures up 15% in the first half of the year to the end of June. Their oil trading team making a huge profit. Their trading team generally making a profit of $3.3 billion. Obviously, there's a lot of oil to trade and lots of prices to trade with during the current conflict in the Middle East. Valterra Platinum confirming headline earnings up, John, 1,600%. Obviously, platinum prices much higher for the 6 months to the end of June. They were up by 85%. They were also able to increase their sales volumes by 18%, and that obviously having a bit of an impact too. I will speak to the Valterra CEO on the Money Show this evening. Their share price ending up 4.6% on the day, and the Foschini Group up 3%. PHP down 7.6%, Richmond down 2.5%, and then some of the gold miners. Pan African Resources down 2 3/4, Anglo Gold down 2.29% on the day, and in fact MTN down nearly a full percent. In the US, so quite a lot going on. Concerns about oil, concerns about the US Federal Reserve. There's an announcement from them on interest rates there tonight. More AI earnings to come. Chip makers a bit vulnerable too. The Dow Jones is down 1.5%. The Nasdaq is down 0.84%. The S&P 500 is down 0.7%. The gold price $4,008.30. Platinum $1,591. Brent crude $90.68 a barrel. And then the rand to the dollar, 16.78 to the euro, 19.10 to the British pound, at 22.31. On the Money Show tonight, John, we'll talk about the big gap between Joburg and Cape Town in terms of property prices. This is commercial property. Part of it is absolutely about governance. I think part of it's about geography as well. Joburg is spread out. Cape Town, you can't really spread out because of the mountains. So we'll talk about that a little bit this evening. We'll talk too about a new ruling about influencer content. This was about SAB. You have to say it's sponsored. Obviously, people don't. Someone got caught. We will talk about the pushback around retirement funding. So if you get a job for a corporate, you have to have medical aid, you have to have retirement funding, and people pushing back against that quite strongly. I think that's quite interesting. And then also, Professor Jan Havenga, you'll have spoken to him, John, the logistics expert.
Yes.
He, I went to go and look him up, and the CSIR suggesting that he actually helped to establish a field of macro logistics, which didn't really exist in South Africa before he came along. He's your shapeshifter this evening. So planes, trains, and things that go with Professor Jan Havenga, the Professor of Logistics. Stephen Curtis, EWN Business.
Thanks, Stephen. Do not miss it. You can tune into the Money Show between 6 and 8. It's 28 minutes away. So let's find out what's happening in the world of news with Mbali Dlamini. Good afternoon.
Thanks, John. Good afternoon. 9 undocumented migrants have been arrested following a major counterfeit goods crackdown at the Joburg Mall in the Johannesburg CBD today. The suspects were vetted by Home Affairs during the day-long operation led by the SAPS National Counterfeit and Illicit Goods Unit. A provisional estimate by police has valued the seized counterfeit goods at around 1 million rand. Mongezi Koko was there.
The intelligence-driven operation brought parts of Joburg Mall to a standstill as police cordoned off surrounding streets, forced entry into locked shops and removed suspected counterfeit goods. Many shops had closed their doors before police arrived. However, authorities say there's no evidence the operation was compromised, believing the heavy law enforcement presence prompted traders to shut their businesses. Among those arrested was a man who told Eyewitness News he had been inside a shop buying stock when the doors were closed. He also admitted that he was in South Africa illegally without documentation.
No, I never had it inside, but I was buying the stock there. So when they are crossing inside the shop. I was already inside, so I was trading the things.
Police say all 9 people arrested were undocumented foreign nationals who were processed with the assistance of Home Affairs. The value of the seized goods is expected to increase as the inventory continues. Mongezi Koko, Eyewitness News, Joburg CBD.
Let's stay with policing. Western Cape Premier Alan Winde says strong leadership is needed now more than ever as the province prepares to welcome its new police commissioner. Winde has welcomed the appointment of Sizakele Kyangi, who officially takes office on August the 1st. With more than 34 years of experience, Kyangi takes over from Thembisile Patekile, who retired at the end of June. His appointment comes at a critical time as the Western Cape continues to grapple with violent crime, gang violence, extortion and organised crime. Winde says while the SAPS is facing significant challenges, this is the moment for decisive leadership.
I think there has not been a time like this before where parliamentary processes and commissions of inquiry are raising many, many questions. So it is a difficult time to step up and lead, but it is a critical time to step up and lead. Now is the time that the residents of this province are really looking to leadership and looking for leadership.
And in the UK, just over half of England has been declared in drought. This as the country experiences record low rain and exceptionally high temperatures. The Met Office says it has finalised readings in June and found that both England and the UK saw a daily temperature record of 38 degrees Celsius. Describing it as a flash drought, government says this was the second consecutive summer that parts of England experienced a drought. A partly cloudy Thursday in store for Gauteng tomorrow, lows of between 4 and 8 degrees and highs of between 20 and 23.
Pennyville heading towards Soweto, accident scene N1 southbound before the N17 causing huge delays from Gordon Road. In Northcliffe, we still have slow-moving traffic on Beyers Naudé between Judges and the N1, while in Jed Park, Boksburg, expect some delays on the R21 that's approaching East Rand Mall.
The top story in EWN, 9 undocumented migrants have been arrested following a major counterfeit goods crackdown at a Joburg Mall in the Johannesburg CBD.
Mama Million here, and yes, I am a millionaire. The total number of lotto winners to date is 1,886,946. And the total prize money won is over 149 million rand. So what must you do with this information? Inspire yourself and play the lotto. It's still just 5 rand. Catch the live draws on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 9 p.m. The National Lottery. More plays, more chances, more millions. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The National Lottery is officially operated by Sizakai.
Calling all wedding planners and venues, restaurants, conference centers, and hotels. Do you need tables and chairs? Home in One has it all. Do you need cutlery, crockery, table linen, and restaurant equipment? Home in One has it all. Do you need tents, gazebos, or umbrellas? Home in One has it all. Affordable prices, the latest trends, with 2 branches in Pretoria and Johannesburg. Shop online at homein1.co.za because we're your #1 choice. Home in One has it all.
That's Tabo before he got naked. When Tabo's car broke down, he did what every manly man does best. Hit things, fiddle, and hope it works. So Tabo got naked. He got comprehensive car insurance in seconds and can now call roadside assistance anytime on the Naked app. Tools down, Tabo. Cover your car and home now at naked.insure and see how easy insurance can be when you get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
When Joburg came together in the iconic CBD for the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, unforgettable moments were made, and none of it would have been possible without our incredible partners.
My name is Lerato Masepe, and I am the Senior Events and Activations Manager at Proudly SA. I really love Walk the Talk this year because it really gave us a beautiful vibe. Today it gave me a sense of what I'm missing out, which I definitely am going to go back and see. Myself, and as Proudly SA, I am coming back here next year because we like supporting initiatives like this that impact on the economy as well as job creation. Well done, 702.
Thank you to all our partners who showed that great things happen when Joburg comes together for the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, hosted by the City of Johannesburg.
702. WhatsApp John
on 072
702
1702.
Hi, John Andre here, Edenville. This scam has been going on for a long time with regard to registering the trucks as motorbikes or as smaller vehicles. And I got pulled off. I used to have trucks, and I got pulled off at Eastgate when they took my ID and my driver's license. They said there's a whole lot of fines that is due that hasn't been settled. And when I got there, I asked them the registrations. When they started giving me registrations, I said, show me the photos. And naturally, as they were pulling up the photos, you could see one motorbike after each other. But they just gave me my ID without driver's license, without even asking any further questions, and just let me go.
Yeah, it really is an extraordinary story, and one we need to follow up on. Scams in the NATIS system that is part of the Road Traffic Management Corporation. If you missed an outline of how the scam works with the RTMC, Simon Zwane, I spoke to him after 4. Please do go to primemediaplus.com. Take a listen to what he said.
They are the scatterlings of Africa. Yo, each uprooted one. Yo, on the way to Pelamanga, where the world began. Yo, the scatterlings of Africa. Oh, each uprooted one. On the way to Pelamanga, yo, oh, where the world began, Africa, Bora.
Yeah, so you were wondering perhaps why we're listening to that interpretation of the Johnny Clegg classic. Well, earlier I invited you all to take the chorus and sing it back to us. And if you do it in a way that we think is great, well, there's a chance to win 4 tickets to attend the Scatterlings Music Festival. It's happening on Saturday. It's brought to you by 702 Zakespan, Twinies, Java, Sun El musician Jesse Clegg, and Msaki, just some of the artists who are going to put on a spectacular show. So the person you heard singing there is Tora from Midrand. Tora, very good afternoon to you. Clearly, your interpretation of the song, do you do some music yourself?
Yeah, I am a musician and a performing artist, yeah.
Okay. Well, on Saturday, you're not going to have to perform. You can just sit back, chill, relax, and enjoy it. We're going to give you 4 tickets to go to the Scatterlings Music Festival. 1 for you,
Woohoo!
2 for good friends or anyone you want to take. And then in regard to the 4th, I'll give you my address and tell you what time to pick me up. Just kidding. You got 4 tickets. Do with it what you will. Tora, have a fabulous day.
Awesome.
The
Thank you so much,
Scatterlings
702.
Music Festival taking place out at Huddle Park. And if you don't have your tickets, please go and get them. It's going to be fabulous. 702 Drive. It's 19 minutes to 6.
EWN Sport.
Tolakele, real turbulence in FIFA. You would have thought after the World Cup they'd have a little rest, but clearly not.
Absolutely not, John. And CONCACAF and UEFA have accused FIFA of pure bribery as they criticize the governing body's plan to sell a $4.2 billion minority stake in a new commercial subsidiary to private investors. CONCACAF says it's deeply concerned by the lack of due process and being blindsided by the news, while UEFA have threatened to boycott future FIFA World Cups if the plans are pushed through. President Gianni Infantino has promised all 211 member associations they will each receive $40 million if they accept his plans, which he says will unlock new commercial opportunities and generate additional funding for football development worldwide. Switching over to the Betway Premiership, where the 2026-27 season kicks off on Saturday with Orlando Pirates the team to beat after winning the championship last season. Sipho Chain kept a record-breaking 21 clean sheets as the Buccaneers ended their 14-year wait for the title, but the shot stopper says that counts for nothing when a new campaign begins.
You could see how football is just in the recent years, from one to the next, from the other one to the next, and you have time to reflect and look back, and compliments to yourself can be honey on a knife, and we don't want that at the moment. We always strive to be better. Yes, we celebrate the achievements and we'll say we worked hard, but like I always say, the grace of God when it's on your life.
Rassie Erasmus says he's looking to fine-tune small mistakes when the Springboks go up against Argentina next Saturday. That game against the Pumas is a warm-up test for the Boks, who then take on New Zealand in the greatest rivalry series.
I really don't think you want to say from game one we are so ready that I think you want to build and build so that when it comes to the crunch match, and I don't think any of us think the other team is going to beat the other team 4-0. I think it's going to be much tougher than that. We've learned our lessons many times against Argentina. If you take a foot off the pedal, you can get a hiding there, and we certainly want to try and prevent that.
And the Welsh Rugby Union have outlined plans to cut 4 professional teams down to 3 by 2028, with Ospreys and Scarlets certified to be the side in the southwest Wales. The governing body confirmed in April it intended to press on with plans to go down to 3 men's teams from the 2028-29 season, with 1 in the capital, 1 in the east and 1 in the west. Cardiff and Dragons are independently backed businesses and are set to be given licenses. Tola Mganga, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
16 minutes to 6. If you're making your way home, hope it's going reasonably well. This EWN Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now. You could save on car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Pennyville, so lovely name for a place, but not so great if you're stuck in traffic, and people in that area, Karabo Chale, are.
So yeah, that's if you're leaving Roodepoort heading towards Soweto. There's an accident scene in the Pennyville area, N1 southbound before the N17, still causing huge delays from Gordon Road, Northcliffe, traffic a bit sluggish on Beyers Nodia between Judges and the N1. In Roodepoort, there's also slow-moving traffic on Hendrik Potgieter between Johan Street and Peter Road. In the Joburg CBD, traffic is also a bit sluggish This is on the M1 southbound from Killarney Benz to the Crown Interchange, while in Alex traveling towards Germiston, bumper-to-bumper traffic N3 south from Modderfontein Road to Van Buren. Jade Park, Boksburg, there's slow-moving traffic. This is on the R21 approaching East Rand Mall. And in Benoni, you can also expect some delays on Atlas Road approaching the N12. For the latest traffic updates, you can also follow us on X at EWN Traffic.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
You may not be able to drop the price of your child's school fees, but switch to Outsurance and you could drop your car insurance premium. You could save big, like 36-year-old Jill, who saves a jaw-dropping 471 Rand a month on her 2025 Hyundai i20. Don't pay more than you need to. Get a quote from Outsurance to switch and save today. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance, licensed insurer and FSP, TCs and information online.
John is on X.
At John Perlman.
Okay, so we're going to finish the show with some music as we always do. The question we asked you, setting out the theme right at the beginning of today's edition of 702 Drive was, who would you like to perform at your funeral and what song would you like them to play? We've got plenty of great suggestions already. We could certainly do with yours though, so please send it to 072 702 1702. Let's get started.
Good day, John. Hope everyone is well. If I had to die and there has to be a song that needs to be played or sung, it has to be We're Gonna Win by Brian Adams.
We're gonna win. Don't wanna be a loser, gonna win. Cause winning really is the only thing. Get out of the way, we're coming in. You wanna fight, you step inside the ring. Does anybody wanna take a swing? It's gotta be all or nothing. Oh, we're gonna be the champions. Hey, we're going all the way, we're gonna win.
Brian Adams, We're Gonna Win. Yeah, that's the choice of our very, very first voice note. A song to play at a funeral, your funeral, and who you would have singing it. So keep those coming, please, on 072 702 1702. It's 13 minutes to 6.
Find your next design obsession at Decorex Joburg. From the 30th of July to the 2nd of August, the Sandton Convention Centre becomes the destination for the latest in decor and design. Explore over 450 exhibitors across 5 levels, inspiring talks and live demos, plus the property show by Private Property. Download the Decorex app and plan your visit today. Decorex Joburg, 30th July to 2nd August. Tickets at decorex.co.za and at the door.
Mama Million here, and yes, I am a millionaire. I see it's payday. Hey, but they didn't pay you nicely, you. How will shop? You know who will pay you nicely? The National Lottery. If you turn payday into playday. Play today, play the lotto, play Powerball, and get paid nicely. The National Lottery. More plays, more chances, more millions. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The National Lottery is officially operated by Sisakai.
The Johannesburg Philharmonic's early spring season features world-class international conductors and soloists, performing with our finest musicians. The program includes favorites by Tchaikovsky, Mozart, and more. Thursday evenings at the Linda Auditorium from 13 August to 3 September at 7:30 p.m. Tickets available at Quicket.
John Perlman.
On 702.
3 to 6 p.m.
Who's going to sing at your funeral? What are they going to sing? Let's hear from you.
Fitting of a send-off. Hi, Dr. John. For me, at my funeral, I will definitely love for Beyonce to come and sing I Was Here. I just love the song, and I think would be very fitting of a send-off for me. Thank you. This is Ipati.
I wanna leave my footprints on the sands of time. Know there was something that meant something that I left behind. When I leave this world, I'll leave no regrets. leave something to remember, so they won't forget I was here. I lived.
Yeah, wonderful lyrics. I want to leave my footprints on the sands of time, Beyonce wrote way back in 2011. No, there was something that I left behind. Let's keep going with your voice notes, please.
John, Leanne in Pretoria. My ideal funeral song would be Meatloaf, Bat Out of Hell.
Gates of heaven, I'll come crawling on back to you.
Yeah, it's so interesting because a couple of you have been saying that they don't want. So listen to this from Roger, who says, "I hate sadness, and I don't think there'll be much sadness if you're blasting out Meatloaf with that fabulous chorus." But back to Roger, who says, "I want everyone to grab a strong drink, take a seat, and listen to Rondo a la Turca." Quinn says, "My choice to end my days would be the Black Pumas and their song Colors." And Chad goes for Cat Stevens and says, "I would have someone sing Cat Stevens, I Have to Go." More voice notes? No, we'll get to those in just a moment. Here's another one from Moses. Nope, that's referring to breakup songs. This is a breakup of a different kind. This one from Barry. I would want Audio Slave, fronted by the late Chris Cornell, and the song would be I Am the Highway. Yeah, I mentioned that I've sort of compiled my end of days playlist, my funeral songs, and they shift a little bit. I add some things, I subtract some things, and I'm often reminded, as I do, of a time when I compiled my very, very first funeral song playlist, and I looked at it 4 or 5 years later, and I thought, oh my goodness, what exactly was I thinking when I actually chose that song? One of them was Little Red Corvette by Prince. The other was Anchorage by Michelle Shock. Neither of them, I think, would be on the playlist. Rogers says, Tupac, Life Goes On. And Gail says, I would like our very own Salome singing Frank Sinatra, My Way. I Did It My Way. Quite a few of you, by the way, have chosen that song. We've got some more voice notes. Let's listen.
Good afternoon, John. This is Selma from Roodepoort. The song that I would like to be played at my burial would be Andrea Bocelli and Sarah Brightman singing It's Time to Say Goodbye. Thanks for a lovely show. Bye.
Sono solo e sogno all'orizzonte, mancano le parole. Sì, lo so che non c'è luce in una stanza quando manca il sole. Se non ci sei tu con me, su le finestre, mostra a tutti il mio cuore che hai acceso. Chiudi dentro me la luce che hai incontrato per strada. Con te partirò paesi.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say if you play that, there's not going to be a dry eye in the house. There probably won't have been one anyway, but a very powerful song indeed. Maxwell Menlo Park says, funeral artist Hugh Masekela with Heaven in You, and he guides us to a very particular part of the song, which we're going to play you now.
I kissed you on my return. I watched you from every corner and every curve, and I wonder, was it all a blessing or all a curse? But you've proven to me, look at how far we've come. Man, look at how far we've come. Oh, oh, oh. I found a heaven in you. Yeah, I found a heaven in you.
Hugh Masekela and Jay, something glorious stuff there. Heaven in You. Now, this is from Kim, who says Conte Partiro, which is another Andrea Bocelli song, a real classic as well, and says, that was my mom's choice for a final song. It was hard to listen to. I put that on her headstone, and translating from the Italian, two options offered to me. This is what I'm picking up on on Google. I will leave with you, or with you I shall depart. Let's hear some more.
Hi, John. Well, I've actually told my sister which song would definitely should definitely be played at my funeral, and it's Dreams of Brighter Days by Busy Signal. I grew up on dancehall, and it is a lovely, lovely song. I'm sure you guys are also going to like it. Shivers in Boxburg.
These are the things I see right in front of me. As I open my eyes, oh, I give thanks to life. Oh, yes, Lord. As the days go by, yeah. Out comes the sun, shining on my face again. Grades get me high, high so I can meditate. Oh, dreams of brighter days. Highest grades we blaze.
Dreams of Brighter Days, Busy Signal and RC. One more, let's take a caller this time. Chris is calling from Kensington. Good afternoon. Hey, Chris.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you got a song you want to suggest?
It would be If You Leave Me Now, Chicago, or Fly Me to the Moon, Buble. But the real reason why I'm phoning is my wife would like to have AC/DC, Thunderstruck. There won't be a wet eye in the whole proceedings.
Okay, we'll see what we can do. Chris, thank you very much. Best not to negotiate those things too far in advance. So thanks, everybody. We've had some great suggestions. We really enjoyed hearing your different songs. There's a couple I have to say I think I might add to my own funeral playlist, although you can't keep people there too long, eh? So I've got to make sure that I maybe do a little edit at some point, appropriately timed. Lindiwe, a couple more CC Winans. Goodness of God. Thanks for that, Lindiwe. Silepe in Randburg. Dumilang Kiatsamaya Lebosichobela. And this is a lovely one from Judith Sapuma. Many people will think, oh, yes, maybe I'll have that played. A song, a cry. A song, a smile, and a dance. That's the way I remember the title, forgive me if I've got it a little bit wrong. This has been 702 Drive. I'm John Perlman. I will be away doing football and netball in northern KZN for a couple of days, but another 702 Drive tomorrow without me. Good night.
And now, The Money Show
with Stephen Grootes, live on 92.7 and 1.
The Money Show with Stephen Grootes is brought to you by Absa Corporate and Investment Banking, turning intent into execution. That's how Absa are invested in Africa's energy future. Good evening. On your Money Show tonight, higher PGM prices push platinum producer Valterra to new highs as they push up